Post for the picture.
I did already.
Oh, you did?
And then she ruined it. Y'all being
No.
Bruh, this need to be in the two-man Hall of Fame. This is the two-man highlight of the year. Did y'all not understand what just went on? I think we need an instant replay, bro. Let's do an instant replay. See, look, we have our point guard right here. We know damn well he can take this ISO, this one-on-one ISO, but he's getting double-teamed. Gray is yapping out the mouth. So what are we gonna do?
Oh, man, it
You
hurts.
gotta be careful. Sometimes it's shallow.
Oh, yeah. Cause distraction.
Hey, post for the picture. Post for the picture.
I did already.
Oh, you did?
And then she ruined it.
And then she ruined it. Oh, my God. This is how I know he's a high IQ player. Not only did he realize that this is the matchup that we want, he took a man with him. Now he can run his ISO.
Y'all being
She instantly asked Fro, does he have a girlfriend? And see, now he can run his ISO. He can blow right past her. That's an easy layup every time. My God, what a beautiful play. This needs to be in the two-man playbook. We're going to call this one Hocus Pocus. Anytime I call...
Everybody's so creative. See how that looks like we probably wasn't supposed to do that? But we did. There's no other reason you would do it that way. See how it looks like you probably wouldn't want to see that? But you're seeing it here. See how beautiful that looks? It looks picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture. That's how it's supposed to look. See how it looks so differently different? That's what we're going for. Everybody's so creative. See how that...
You said that it is a privilege to be able to have like the traditional lifestyle with the woman or the man staying home doing the stay-at-home person thing and the other one working. Why would you say that's a privilege?
Because most people do not find a partner that is financially responsible enough or financially capable enough or willing to work hard enough to do that.
So the definition of privilege is a special right, advantage, or immunity granted or available only to a particular person or group.
Right.
How?
Because you are my wife and you have the privilege of staying home and doing the things that you're doing. And it is a privilege. It's a special thing that you get because you married a man who is capable of doing those things.
So I do agree that it's a privilege for me. In saying that, like a man providing that lifestyle, I don't view that as a privilege. Like the man being able to provide that as a privilege for the man.
It's
because
not.
the man has worked to get to that point.
Right, no, it's not a privilege for the man. It's a privilege for the woman.
Okay. I wanted to make sure, because that's where I was hung up on that. I was like, I don't understand how a man providing that is a privilege.
It's not. It's a flex to us.
Yeah, I would say it's a flex.
It is definitely laying the dick on the table and being like, I fucking am better than most of the men in this room because my wife doesn't have to get her hands dirty. That my wife doesn't go to work and submit to another person. That my wife submits to me in our household and to God. And to know that we have the fucking dynamic that we have. And she doesn't have to worry about shit. I handle that. Like, we discussed that last night on the live stream.
You said that it is
fuck off in Chinese. 滚开滚开滚开 fuck off. Fuck off in Chinese. 滚开 in Chinese. 滚开滚开滚开 fuck off in Chinese.
I need to go fix me some breakfast. Well, my breakfast is almost ready anyway.
Do you know why God invented yeast infections?
Oh, Jesus. Mike, really?
Some women would know what it's like to live with an irritating cunt, too.
You fucking fucking asshole.
Another day, no one left, nothing to do. A one piece scrap for us, nothing I can use. It's almost confused. What's the point? No one cares. Gone, I'm tired now. Come on, show me love.
I want to do a song with J. Cole too. Show him this ghetto gospel way.
I'm from the streets of no knowledge. Kids down with books in their hands, ain't no college. Niggas sliming out their best friend, they thought was solid, but less than a wallet. They feminizing our kings, rappers wearing nail polish just to make they sales rising. I thought you was a man, I thought you was a leader in this world against the clan. I guess you just another monkey with a switch in your hand. Let me hand you a banana so you can kill your best friend. Could've been your best man, nigga look just like you, but because you rep another hood, the nigga wanna fight you. Could've made a team and won a ring with Pippen, met Michael. But we hate our own brothers, it's a never-ending cycle. We kill our own stars, we rather see a nigga catch a busted on cars. It's hard to love success when you struggle so hard. Imagine doing 40 years behind them cold bars. You completely innocent, but just was at the wrong part. Guilty by your skin, couldn't find a suspect, all of a sudden you his twin. I only seen the pastors and the hustlers drive in. While everybody else home, trying to win. Now my road nigga, now my bin. Outside trusting and I in. My mom coke ain't chucking no flow, and it ain't no soap with the whole kitchen. Daddy ain't broken, it wasn't no show. Why you think the little boy think that's a grown man? Can't even spell, but he wanna spin. In this direction where my people in. Fucking keep rapping my diamonds and hen. Fucking keep rapping my banners and sin. Fucking keep rapping my skimming again. Better hope I don't catch you, my friend. Still remember everybody was against Donald Trump. Now Joe Biden up in office, the whole hood broke as fuck. He done fell off a bike, you done fell in a slump. The trap moving slow cause the money dried up. The bricks cheap as hell, but the weed high as fuck. Nobody smoking work, they want the side big cups. Them blues be the moves till that bitch knowledge touch. People die hard bust, now them fans at your nuts. The robbers get the starving, it's nothing but stick up. He saw the ring camera, still shot him, what the fuck? If God had let this happen, then who can I trust? Nobody but this pistol, that's the reason why it's clutch. R.I.P. to Mr. Hutch. The jeweler, I'm from the slums where pussy niggas rape high schoolers. Get the girl pregnant, act like he never knew her. Finally go to
I don't know how Instagram is with me listening to these songs, but we'll see.
Fuck the mayor, fuck the president, fuck the vice president, fuck Congress, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck the government, fuck Uncle Sam, fuck the mayor, fuck the president, fuck the vice president, fuck Congress, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck the government, fuck Uncle Sam. We living in times of tech nines and high crimes, lifestyle designed to blow up like landmines. Chunks is loving it, so is the government. You think you in control of your life, but really you ain't running it. Fuck the mayor, fuck the president, fuck the vice president, fuck Congress, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck the government, fuck Uncle Sam. I remember when blacks first turned to crack, addicted, desperate, club jacks. On track to discriminate what he hates. If he hated us this much, how come he brought us to the States? A dick in the mouth of both candidates. Got my people in project buildings, inadequate living since we were children. They tear them down, ship us out, then rebuild them. Exactly what happened with the Indians and Pilgrims. They put us on a reservation when they get the earth. Police protect and serve the Federal Reserve. They should be passing out the reparations we deserve. The only thing a politician cares about is paycheck. They can give a fuck about the national debt. They ain't gotta pay it. They know the system and they play it, but the system flies. We should expect it. How many politicians actually made a difference after being elected? Fuck the mayor, fuck the president, fuck the vice president, fuck Congress, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck the government, fuck Uncle Sam, fuck the mayor, fuck the president, fuck the vice president, fuck Congress, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck the government, fuck Uncle Sam.
That nigga said, fuck the government, fuck Uncle Sam. Now this song right here is weird, but I love this song for some reason. Yo, my man's good morning. The Haberdasher. I love this song. I listened to this shit like 30 times.
Streets as fates collide. The wind is waking, dreaming that closed your eyes. There was a way to take the things that we as visions pass, I can see now you. Worlds drift away.
This shit right here is hard.
Worlds drift away.
This one right here go harder too. What's up? What's up? Good morning. We trying to fill in the background on this shit.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow.
Working on the
Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends.
What's good though? What's good this morning, man? How you feeling? How you feeling? It's Sunday morning. It's Christmas Eve. We can definitely get into this a Christmas discussion. Hey, every holiday, I love to talk about the origin of the holidays, and that's why I don't celebrate them. Like every holiday does really have like a weird origin, and we've gotten to the point where most people just flow with the tradition and do like all the mainstream stuff without really delving into like, why do we do this shit? Where did all this shit start? Where did it come from? And why is it still so prevalent in modern culture and society, especially Western cultures? So, but I haven't celebrated holidays in 20 years, maybe. Probably a little bit longer than 20 years, maybe 25 years. Like, I don't know, once I started reading more, hence the reader series I created, you gotta read, and you have to read everything. Don't just read the shit you like and put yourself in the echo chamber and only access information that corroborates your current belief system. You need to always read things that contradict your assumptions and contradict what you hold as a truthful belief system. And that way, when you come across information or topics that you disagree with, at least you'll be well equipped and have an in-depth understanding of the opposition to actually debate and make counterpoints and counter arguments towards things you disagree with. But most people don't like hearing shit that they don't agree with. And so that's the same thing, like, I feel when it comes to any holiday. Yeah, they're cool and all, and yeah, you know, people have been doing them for hundreds of years, but why? I've always been that kid, just like every little kid asks why. And I don't know, some people stop asking why. I never stopped asking why, yo. I've always wanted to know more, and why and why and why. You know? Why do you put gas in the car? Well, because gas is what makes the car run. Why? Well, cars need fuel in order to generate energy. Why? Well, because it's different parts of propulsion, and we've designed engines to take fuel to make us go. Why? And then kids will always ask why and why and why, and sometimes it gets hard to explain why when you don't have sufficient knowledge yourself. And so once again, always question, always stay inquisitive, always keep asking why until you get to a point where you're satisfied with the reasoning and the answer behind the why. As long as it comes with valid and sound arguments and logical data to back it up, valid facts. And so my first argument is, yo, Milkman 515, happy holidays. You have a blessed couple of days. You do the same thing, bro. You do the same thing. I'm actually doing the Instagram live as well, and we are talking about holidays and personally why I don't celebrate holidays. But for one, one of the first main reasons, when I started to raise my own children, I feel like, let me roll up. I feel like lying to kids is a terrible thing. It's just a terrible thing. Always ask why exactly. So that's one of my first fundamental reasonings is I do not, and I have never lied to my children, ever. Never, ever. I have never lied to my kids about anything. Sometimes I've told them they don't need to know certain things. Sometimes I've given them very base information to answer some of their questions. I've never lied to my kids. And so if you tell your child that there is a fairy that comes and collects their teeth and leaves them little gifts, essentially you're telling them something that's not true. And if it's not true, then it's a lie. If you tell your children that a magical rabbit leaves eggs for them to find, never lie to anyone. Now I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say never lie to anyone. I ain't gonna say never lie to anyone. Lies can be very useful at times, you know, or even half-truths or withholding information can be very useful at times, especially if you're trying to figure something out and you don't want the other party to know your next move, so you may not tell the whole truth so that you can extract more information or whatever. But hey, lying isn't bad. And also, the first time your child lies to you, it shows a very high level of brain function to organize a lie in your mind, and then to try to execute that is a very, very, very complex set of thoughts and critical thinking processes that have to go on before you can formulate a fabrication. So the first time your child lies to you, it's a very complex thought, and it's a very amazing thing that they have information that they assume you do not have that same set of information. So it is advantageous for them to tell you a certain thing because they are aware that you are unaware. That's complex thinking. Lying is a very, very complex thing. Most people aren't good at it. Most of the time, it's very detrimental to both parties involved. But it is a very useful technique and a strategy that can be implemented in certain situations and circumstances that will allow you to achieve the more desirable outcome in your favor. But yeah, number one, I've never lied to my kids, and I think if you tell them that these fairy tales are true and these mythical characters are real, then you're just lying to your kids. And it's really easy for kids to get over some of that, but then at the same time, I don't lie. I know how to manipulate the answers. I'm looking for. Okay. I feel you. And being persuasive is another useful personality trait. But yeah, so do I think that telling children these things are true is a good thing? No. So that's number one. And then number two, I think the holidays have been turned into a corporate spin down day that is just very highly commoditized and built around useless consumption. That's another main thing with all holidays now. You get everything on sale. You know, it's just another day to try to get you to buy some shit that was really the same price the day before, and they market the same price on the holiday, but then tell you it's on sale just to try to get you to buy these overstocked products that they have. So I don't like falling for the consumerism part of the holidays. Buy chocolates, buy cards, buy flowers, buy gifts, wrapping paper, bows, and I'm so good on all of that shit. If I want to get you a gift, I can give you a gift on any random Wednesday, and it don't necessarily have to be wrapped in some weird ass paper or whatever. I can just give you something. Yeah, you can celebrate without spending. You definitely can. You absolutely 100% can celebrate without spending, but that has become a major aspect of all holidays. And you can see it in the advertisements and everything. Like when the holidays are approaching, especially this last part of the year, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Christmas starts getting advertised before Thanksgiving, and Black Friday and all this other shit, Cyber Monday nowadays. And so you can't deny that they really press this perception of, you're gonna get deals. This is the time of the year for you to spend all of your excess money, you know, and family and friends just get together. I feel that too, but at the same time, like, me and my family and friends can get together on any random Wednesday. I ain't gotta wait till whatever day Thanksgiving is on, or whatever day, December the 25th. I ain't gotta wait till December the 25th to congregate with my loved ones and fellowship. We can do that shit on goddamn August the 9th on a Thursday evening. The same way everybody schedule and plan these motherfucking holiday get-togethers, y'all can plan that shit any other month, day, week of the year. You know, so I don't see why people get pigeonholed into these certain days where this is the time that I spend with my family and this is the time that I spend with my family. Like, that's crazy. I find that shit crazy as fuck. My family just drove up from Virginia last weekend. No, 2 weekends ago to come chill with me. They had some time off. They wanted to come check out my art show. I ain't gotta wait for no special holiday shit to hang out with my family. Go chill with my family. So that's another aspect of it. People make excuses to not fellowship, to not break bread together all the rest of the year because, well, we wait for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I think that's ridiculous. So the holidays for people you don't normally see, once again, I find that ridiculous. I really do. I really find that crazy. If you care about the relationship you have with an individual, you should nourish that relationship, and you should put time, effort, and energy into that relationship. Relationships are hard. Platonic or romantic, or family relationships, they're all difficult because they all take a lot of time and energy. So if you use the holidays for the times for people you don't normally see, then do you really even care about these people? They not on your top 10 list. I don't worry about these motherfuckers 364 days out the year, but on this one day, oh, I haven't seen Aunt Betsy, since last Christmas. I haven't seen Cousin Jacob since last Christmas. Do you really give a fuck about Aunt Betsy and Cousin Jacob then? Because if you really did, you'll take time throughout any other day of the year to go just stop by and have a cup of coffee. It ain't like you gotta cook a whole meal and bake a loaf of bread from scratch and goddamn ground your own coffee beans. You can just go have a bagel. 10 minutes. If them people you really give a fuck about. But no. Once again, we make all these kind of excuses. You can keep tap dancing. I'm gonna tap dance right along with you. You can make all these excuses. I seen such and such at the funeral. I seen so and so at the wedding. Do you really give a fuck about these motherfuckers if that's the only time you the care to be around them is at some occasion? You can make an occasion. Coffee is an occasion. Brunch is an occasion. Just going to chill and watch one episode of some TV show is an occasion. What you doing, cuz? Nothing. I'm gonna smoke with you real quick. 15 minutes. But for that 15 minutes, I was in that moment with this person that I care about our relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm from South Carolina, but I live in Pennsylvania. All of my family in South Carolina, yo. But I make it a point to go home twice a year. And it's not on no holidays. I don't go home on no holidays. But I try to go home twice a year. And when I go home, there's certain people I make sure I see. I have to see them. And I do 2 trips each year because sometimes I don't get to see everybody in one trip. And it seems weird that I kind of like itemize people, but like if I saw you the first trip, the second trip I come home, I'm trying to see the other motherfuckers, yo. I gotta get everybody that time. You know what I'm saying? How you doing? How your kids are? Everything, man. How your health? How your mental health? We all doing good? Good. I just want to see your face. I want to hear your voice. I want to give you a hug. You know what I'm saying? Have a drink with you. Break bread. Even if it ain't nothing but a goddamn Whopper Jr. Me and my man sat down and had a meal together and talked about some shit. You know what I'm saying? So don't say that shit for the holidays. That don't make sense to me. So we got not lying to kids, not falling into the trap of the money marketing schemes of the corporations, not using it as an excuse to see your loved ones and people you care about. And then we can start delving into like the history, the origins of all holidays, especially Christmas, because this is it's a combination of several different European and Nordic traditions all kind of rolled up into one. And then they overlay all this new age, like, I want to say almost strictly American type shit, but not really. So we might we might have to Google some stuff before I start talking too much. God damn. Maybe I need to set that down. You might need to Google some stuff before I try to repeat all this shit from memory. But one of the big things is that I never understood. And one of the main hallmarks of Christmas, especially American Christmas, is the goddamn Christmas tree. Now, if somebody can explain the Christmas tree to me, yo, good morning. Art over everything. I heard that. So we might listen to this one. Oh, I'm getting tangled up in the wires. I don't want to get tangled up in the wires.
For the morning comes what?
We've all heard the biblical origins of Christmas, but societies have been celebrating light and birth in the darkest days of winter centuries before Jesus walked the earth. In the Norse country, this winter celebration was known as Yule. Around December 21st, the winter solstice, fathers and sons dragged evergreens indoors as reminders of life and set logs on fire as a promise of good fortune. Ancient Rome had its own December festivals. 1 week before the winter solstice, Romans began celebrating Saturnalia, an orgy of food and drink in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture. Some Romans, particularly soldiers and government officials, also worshipped Mithra, the sun god. It is believed that to this small but powerful sect, the birthday of Mithra, December 25th, was the holiest day of the year. By the 1st century AD, pagan traditions were being challenged as Christianity took hold throughout the empire. But Christ's birth date remained a mystery, since the Bible doesn't mention exactly when he was born. Since pagan Rome already celebrated the birth of Mithra on December 25th, it is theorized the church adopted the date as the birth of the Christ child. In the 4th century, the church made it official, declaring December 25th as the feast day of the Nativity. The church knew it could not outlaw the pagan traditions of Christmas, so it came to accept them. The evergreens traditionally brought indoors were decorated with apples, symbolizing the Garden of Eden. These apples would eventually become Christmas ornaments. The story of Santa Claus also begins in the 4th century with the death of Nicholas, a beloved Turkish bishop. The anniversary of his death became known as St. Nicholas Day. On December 6th, good children woke to gifts from the kindly saint. Bad children sulked away with nothing. In Holland, he was known as Sinterklaas. 1,500 years later in America, a seminary professor named Clement Clark Moore reimagined the legend of St. Nicholas. In 1822, Moore wrote a poem called The Night Before Christmas about a good-natured saint named Santa Claus who was pulled by a group of reindeer and came down the chimney on Christmas Eve. Like St. Nicholas, Santa Claus spread good cheer and gave gifts to children. Less clear was exactly what this Santa Claus looked like. Then in 1863, Thomas Nast, a cartoonist for Harper's Weekly, settled the matter once and for all with his version of the Christmas saint. Nast's Santa was rotund and jolly, with a full white beard and a sack full of toys. An American icon was born.
Every time you feed your pet pills, you help feed a shelter pet, which helps make them
You going to let the greedy heating companies and their crazy high prices decide if your family is allowed to stay warm this winter? Here's how a former
inspired it. But the reality is the Christmas tree appears somewhat suddenly in the late medieval period, long after the Roman Empire, long after the Christianization of the Germanic peoples. And while historians don't really know for sure why the practice emerged and how it caught on, they do have a pretty good idea of when and where. So what is the absolute earliest evidence we have for decorating an evergreen tree for Christmas? For that, let's turn to medieval forest management law. The best kind of forest management law. I know, I spoil you on this channel. This is Dr. Laszlo Lukas, a scholar of European folklore and ethnography, and in my opinion, the leading expert on the origins of the Christmas tree, even though he's never cited in any of the English language publications I found while researching this topic. Back in 2014, he published this article, in which he argues that the immediate predecessor of the Christmas tree originated from right here, the Upper Rhine regions of Alsace and what's now eastern France, and Baden, which is now the western part of the modern German state of Baden-Württemberg. This whole region was heavily forested with evergreen trees, especially the Black Forest on the east bank of the Rhine River, and suddenly, starting in the 1300s, evidence starts to emerge that indicates peasants were going into the forests on Christmas Eve to collect wood from these forests. We know this because forestry regulations from the 1300s in the cities of Sundhofen and Bergheim permit people to collect branches before or around Christmas. Landowners were trying to regulate these forests, and apparently people were also trying to steal wood from them. According to a legal directive from the 1300s, the judge of Saint-Hippolyte, now located in France, ordered the forest to be guarded for 9 days before and after Christmas. We can infer that this was an attempt to stop people from stealing wood from the local forest, not only during Christmas, but also the following festivals of New Year and Epiphany. Now, these regulations don't say why the wood was being collected. Dr. Lukas says it's possible that the branches were simply burned as firewood or fed to animals. But the fact that these regulations specifically mention Christmas leads him to assume that this wood collecting was part of a wider practice. I want to be clear that these forestry regulations are not direct evidence that people were cutting down evergreen trees and decorating them for Christmas. But they are direct evidence that at least by the early 1300s, people in the Upper Rhine region were conifer curious, collecting branches at Christmas time from mostly evergreen forests. Maybe the branches were being used for decoration. Again, this is not explicitly mentioned in these sources, but it's not a bad assumption based on what follows in the next century. It's not until the 1400s that direct evidence emerges for some sort of decorated Christmas tree, right here in the Upper Rhine city of Freiburg. According to the author Bernd Brunner, who published an academic book about the Christmas tree with Yale University Press, a guild of bakers in Freiburg reported seeing a tree decorated with apples, wafers, gingerbread, and tinsel in a local hospital in 1419. 1419. This is the earliest reference historians can find for a decorated Christmas tree, or a decorated Christmas pole. Brunner warns us that the Middle Low German word used here, Baum, could also refer to a pole, and not specifically a tree. In fact, Dr. Lukas considers that the direct predecessor of the Christmas tree was the maypole, tall wooden poles that were known to be set up during festivals in medieval Europe. Starting in the 1400s, towns and landowners in the Alsace region started to issue laws limiting the number and size of trees you could cut down during Christmas. At least a few of these edicts specifically mention maypoles. A 1431 law from the town of Adelsheim allows cutting down a pine tree as tall as 7 feet for Christmas. And a forestry regulation from Amersweier dating to 1448 specifically says that each citizen is only allowed to cut down 1 maypole for Christmas, and it can't be any longer than 8 feet. So we're no longer talking about branches here. 7 or 8 feet is a pretty big pine tree, indicating that people were starting to set up bigger trees in public. And it's here in the 1400s that the tradition seems to have exploded and rapidly spread outward from the Upper Rhine region. Not only do these regulations start cropping up with greater frequency, but by 1441 there's a reference to a Christmas tree or maypole set up in front of a town hall in Tallinn, Estonia. In 1510 in Latvia there's a reference to a tree being decorated for Christmas with apples, thread, and straw, and in Estonia in 1514. And in all of these cases, these trees were not set up in private homes. The example from Freiburg was set up in a local hospital, the Tallinn example in front of a town hall, and the latter 2 examples from Latvia and Estonia were sponsored by merchant guilds. This leads the historian David Bertena to conclude that Christmas trees gained traction as guild-sponsored decorations for the public. Clear evidence for private Christmas trees doesn't emerge until the 1500s, again in the Alsace region, and by 1657 the practice was apparently so popular that it annoyed the Protestant theologian and Christmas tree killjoy, Johann Conrad Donauer. He condemned them, saying, among other trifles which are set up during Christmas time instead of God's word is the Christmas tree or fir tree, which is put up at home and decorated with dolls and sugar. Whence comes the custom I know not. It is child's play. Far better were it to point the children to the spiritual cedar tree, Jesus Christ. Again, we don't know why this practice caught on, but historians have floated the theory that the Christmas tree may have been partly inspired by another biblical story that famously features a tree, Adam and Eve eating the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Christians in medieval Europe would put on paradise plays, theatrical performances enacting the story of Adam and Eve for the largely illiterate masses. If you can't read the Bible stories for yourself, why not watch a stage play about them? These paradise plays generally don't have stage directions, so we don't really know how they would have set the stage, with the notable exception of a medieval paradise play from northern France, which describes having a tree with fruit on stage. Then shall a serpent, cunningly contrived, climb up the trunk of the forbidden tree. Eve shall put her ear up to it as if listening to its advice. Then Eve shall take the apple and offer it to Adam. There's good reason to believe that this was a widespread practice in paradise plays across northern France and Germany, and many of these plays were probably performed around Christmas. A cycle of medieval Christmas plays discovered among a German community in Hungary involved a decorated conifer tree as a prop on stage. Now, the forestry regulations from the 1300s and the 1400s do not mention paradise plays, but this is one possible inspiration for the practice. Or at least paradise plays may have helped to popularize the Christmas tree via guild-sponsored performances. By the 1800s, the Christmas tree grew increasingly popular outside of Germany. The practice got a big boost in England from Queen Charlotte, the German wife of King George III, who decorated Windsor Castle with a Christmas tree in the year 1800. And an image published by the Illustrated London News went viral in 1848, which showed Queen Victoria with her German husband Prince Albert with a Christmas tree. And with the help of German immigration and mass media, the Christmas tree took off in the United States. Within 500 years, what started as a curious practice in the Upper Rhine region had become a global Christmas phenomenon. So based on the available evidence, this is how I would summarize the origins of the Christmas tree. People in the Upper Rhine region started to set up and decorate Christmas trees or maypoles by the early 1400s. The earliest example dates to 1419 in the city of Freiburg. We can speculate that this tradition started earlier, perhaps in the 1300s. Forestry regulations from this period indicate that peasants were running into the evergreen forests of the Upper Rhine region to gather wood around Christmas. We don't know why they were doing this. It's possible that the evergreen branches were used as a Christmas time decoration earlier in the 1300s, but this is an educated guess. It's also possible that Christians in this region were inspired by stage plays about Adam and Eve that were performed in December that would have involved a decorated tree on stage. But our earliest evidence does not mention this, and it's also an educated guess. Again, the when and the where is fairly well established. The why is murky.
Custom hair care made for the label readers, the skeptics, And most of all, it's made for you. But what actually goes into a hair care routine that's clean, effective, and personalized? A lot more than you might think. First, we built a...
Notice what I haven't mentioned. I have not mentioned the Romans, or a pagan festival called Yule, or a Norse sacred tree called Yggdrasil. And that's because I'm basing my summary on the available evidence. There is no evidence that any of these things had anything to do with the origins of the Christmas tree. Saturnalia was an ancient Roman festival honoring the god Saturn. It was held from the 17th to 23rd of December, though this changed throughout its history. As I described in my Saturnalia video, it began with a mass public sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn, followed by several days of feasting, gambling, drinking, and most notably, the role reversal between enslaved people and their enslavers. A holiday when enslaved people were encouraged to dine with them or talk back to them, stuff like that. But out of all of the Roman sources that mention Saturnalia, there is absolutely no mention that the ancient Romans decorated anything with evergreen branches or trees to celebrate this holiday. Not a single reference from a single Roman source. Anyone who says otherwise is making stuff up. So what about pre-Christian Germanic practice, or Norse mythology? A few have pointed to the legend of Saint Boniface, who according to an 8th century legend cut down a sacred oak tree, Thor's oak, and used the wood to build a church. The argument goes something like this. The Germans apparently viewed trees as sacred, and thus the Christmas tree is a vestige of pagan sacred tree veneration. There is some evidence that people in Europe venerated sacred groves. One of the more interesting examples I found is from the writings of the Christian bishop Caesarius, who lived during the 500s in southern France. In his sermons, he's constantly complaining about his parishioners going off to the sacred groves. But conducting religious rituals in or around trees or viewing certain trees as sacred doesn't prove direct cultural transmission to the very particular custom of setting up and decorating evergreen trees for a winter festival. Sacred groves and sacred trees are a generic enough religious practice seen across the world, from North America to Africa to Asia, and assuming that the story of Thor's oak contains any shred of historicity that could shed light on actual ancient religious practice, there's little to connect this story with Christmas or Christmas trees. No mention that Boniface's attack occurred around Christmas time. No mention if it was an evergreen tree or was decorated. Nothing that would connect this story to the birth of Jesus. So what about Yule? The scholar Peter Gainsford has a great overview of Yule over at his blog Kiwi Hellenist. But to quickly summarize, Yule is first mentioned as the name of a month on a Christian calendar of Christian saints' days dating to the 500s. The Christian monk Bede also mentions Yule and refers to it as part of the name of 2 different months on the English calendar, corresponding to our December and January on the Gregorian calendar. Dr. Gainsford thinks this is perhaps more suggestive of Yule referring to a season rather than a festival, though Norse texts dating to the 800s and later do describe a Yule festival, but these sources don't reference a tree or log as part of the celebrations. Rather, Yule festivals involved making vows, feasting, and a sacred boar, presumably for consuming during all that feasting. The earliest evidence we have for burning a Yule log comes from Christian sources dating to the late 12th century that explicitly reference burning wood on Christmas. So I'd agree with Dr. Gainsford when he says it's probably best to call the Yule log a Christmas log since the practice seems to have emerged from medieval Christian Europe. When your favorite influencer says that the Christmas tree originates from pre-Christian Germanic paganism, they're inadvertently parroting ideas invented without evidence by 19th century German nationalist writers. In 1858, the Protestant writer Johannes Marbach published a study on Christmas arguing that German Christmas was a fusion of pagan and Christian practices rooted in what he calls primordial German soil. He wrote the intimate connection of Germandom with Christendom inspired a new era for the German Volk, demonstrated by the tree of Christ. In other words, the Christmas tree and other German folk customs, which he believed were pre-Christian, helped to forge a new identity for the German people. A few decades later, the German philosopher Alexander Till wrote the lights of the Christmas tree shine as far as the German tongue is spoken. From the east of Prussia to Alsatia, from the Baltic and the German Ocean to the south of the Danube. Elsewhere, he complains that non-German people who've adopted the Christmas tree are degrading the practice. Writers like him were publishing with an explicitly nationalist agenda, constructing a German identity that tied the modern Germans with a mythical past. German Christmas customs like the Christmas tree were held up as an example of that prehistoric national identity. All this to say, the Christmas tree does seem to originate from some sort of folk custom. In 14th century Alsace, peasants were apparently gathering branches from the forests around Christmas time, possibly to decorate their houses. By the 15th century, people in this region were setting up and decorating Christmas trees and maypoles. This much is firmly established, but it's a huge leap to call this a pre-Christian folk custom. Our earliest Christmas tree is 1419, hundreds of years after the Christianization of the region, and the practice appears somewhat suddenly in history. There is no chain of evidence that could link this practice to ancient or late ancient practice. Rather, it seems to have emerged from Christian communities to celebrate a Christian holiday. When it comes to religious studies, this time of year is a misinformation free-for-all. And the misinformation often splits along ideological lines. Christian apologists and the all of Christmas is pagan crowd battling it out online, publishing falsehoods that align with their own ideological bias. Ideological bias clouds so much of the information that we consume online, and one of my favorite tools to cut through the mess is the sponsor of this video, Ground News. Ground News is a website and app that gives readers an easy, data-driven, and objective way to read the news. So for example, let's pull up a news story. A recent Pew Research poll has found that nearly half of teenagers say that they are online almost constantly. Ground News gives you a quick visual breakdown of the political bias of the sources reported.
Do you know why God invented yeast infections?
Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Ready or Not gameplay video. Quickly, before we get started here, I'd like to shout out my partnership, Buy Games Cheaper with Instant Gaming. Affiliate link will be down below in the description if you guys are interested. In this video, we're going to be visiting the brand new dealership map overhaul that just got released with the Ready or Not 1.0 full release. Now, we have visited this map during the live stream, and I played it maybe once or twice after that. However, I feel like I would showcase it yet again in an official video. We're going to be playing through the overhauled dealership mission with the SWAT AI. Let me know what you guys think about the overhaul down in the comments. I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to say. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go ahead and get into it.
911, this call's being recorded. What's your emergency?
Hi, yeah. You probably already know this, but there's a shootout happening outside Caesar's Cars in North Hills. I don't know what's happening, but cops are being shot. You need to get more people over here.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to calm down for me, okay? Can you please tell me again what's happened?
Someone inside the car shop is shooting cops. I don't know what's happened. I was just out walking my dog, and suddenly all hell broke loose. I see cops lying on the ground, and the others start shooting.
You say the police are shooting?
Well, yeah, they were getting shot at first from inside the car place. I don't know what's happening now. I booked it out of there, and I'm not planning on going back to check.
No, stay away from the area, sir. The police are inbound, so please.
I just moved into this neighborhood. God, I thought it would be okay up here.
Sir, don't panic. Get to safety. The police are aware of what's going on and are inbound. Please do not go back. You said you live nearby, right?
What? Yeah, I'm like a block from my house.
Okay, great. As long as you can get there without going back the way you came, I'd go home and lock your doors. Everything's gonna be fine, okay?
Yeah, I can get home.
Great. Stay safe, sir.
All right, gather up. We've got a rapidly evolving situation, and we don't have time to lose. Detectives from the Auto Theft Task Force were conducting a routine warrant service at Caesar's Cars in North Hills. Something went wrong, and now we've got officers down and a shootout in progress. This dealership has been watched for some time, and the owners are likely using it as a launch pad for the packaging and sale of illegal weaponry. The original intel was that a big deal was going down tonight. With the cover blown, we need to get in and try and salvage as much evidence as we can. We've got no time to waste on this one. We've got 2 main entry and exit points on side 1 and side 3. I want a team on each. Things have already escalated, so we're going in hot. We need to get things under control so that the trailers can get the casualties out of there.
Do we have anybody on the inside?
None of the raid team made it inside. We don't know what happened, but the cover was blown before they gained access. However, 2 detectives are working undercover in the dealership. One we know is now deceased. The other is still alive, but it's only a matter of time if we don't get in there and take control. Okay, we're a few minutes out. Are there any questions?
No, sir.
That's what I like to hear. We're walking into a shitstorm, people. Keep those communication lines open. I want to know what's going on at all times. Now, get ready to move.
This is Doc. Got your back. Entry team, negotiations have fallen apart. Move to secure the premises. Suspects are highly volatile.
Alright, we just loaded in, and as you can notice, compared to previously, you do have the option to spawn in on the street here. An officer down, we can't report that officer. Would make a lot of sense to try to get her out of the area, absolutely. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to do that. As far as I can tell, I believe the street should be clear, but it's unknown. We could be running into anybody here. We got a contact already.
All teams, put the stack on this door. Get him into position. Drop the weapon. In my way, sir.
I don't even see the contact at this time.
Get down.
Gonna be behind there. I see him. Go ahead,
Move in and clear it.
Hopefully that singer does something to him.
Get down. Put your hands up. Hands up.
Light stick out.
Got his hands up.
Hands on your head.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought he was standing up with his hands up, but I think it's just because the. Oh. I just took him out.
You get a search. Secure any contacts.
Got some feet right there too. I noticed that. Sorry about that. Okay. We got an open door on the left, and we've got this garage that needs to be cleared.
Blue, wait.
I'm gonna have red team hold. I want you to move. Oh, why is he going down the stairs? All right. I'm gonna have you move here.
Move to my front. On the way. Red team.
Blue team, step up right.
Side. Ready.
And that way we can have this guy focus here.
Keep an eye on it. Affirmative.
So if anybody tries to push through that angle, he's got a coverage on it for the most part anyway. That's not bad. Okay. So what do we got going on? We got our breaching shotgun. This is a modded breaching shotgun, by the way. It does look really nice. I'm slowly starting to incorporate more mods into the game. So you'll notice over time there's going to be some mods here and there. Just make sure you guys check the description. Alright, so that door is open. We need to get moving. There was a guy here. I could see his legs. Looks like he might be pushed over. Now we definitely got a breach in here.
Open and sting. All right.
I'm gonna get one on this side here. Nice.
Hello?
Hello? Move.
Hello, can you hear me?
Close door left.
Doc. Talk to entry team.
I'm sorry, I had to, YouTube loud as hell.
I was leaving out to do a Instacart order, and it's showing the customer's name. I say it's Keon, and he sent a message before I even left to start shopping, and was like, "Oh, can you cancel it? They don't have it in stock." So I was like, "I'll reach out to customer support." So now I'm just waiting for them to respond, because I can't cancel it. Like, I could cancel it, but if I do it from my end, it's gonna affect my rate and look like I've just been canceling batches. So you got to go through customer support so it doesn't affect your stats and let them cancel it on his end and not mine. If that makes sense. So I was all excited because it was a $25 order, and I just had to go to Kohl's and get a toaster. That's all he wanted. But they don't got it in stock, so he was like, never mind. So that's cool, because I would have been pissed off had I got there. And then I would have got, like, the batch pay is small. It was like $6 or $7, but the rest of it was all tip. So I would have got, like, $6. It would have been nothing. Ooh, what is going on with my phone right now? How does just black and white? What you doing? Anything?
In the studio.
I'll let you go if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a couple hours of paint done this morning. All right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Duh! It's 7 in the morning. Did you see what happened upstairs? No, what happened? I saw her. I have to tell you everything. Did you see what happened in the pool though? And guess who was there? No way. Okay, you're going first. Tell me. So that...
looks clear. We got a couple hostages. A red team fall in.
Provide support.
I got you.
Provide cover. No contact.
And I got security on the door if you want to get him in custody.
Civilian is cuffed and good to go.
Don't bend that way, asshole.
Blue, go ahead and stack up left.
Yep.
Door's good.
Let's start getting the whole element involved here. So, I have played this map before, obviously.
Element.
Let's go ahead and get this wedged off.
Gonna jam it.
At least for right now.
Fall in. On you.
You know, now that I think about it, let's have them give security. Let's go back this way really quick. I know I'm kind of being undecisive right now, but it doesn't hurt to, you know, be careful. We could have contact if we peek this. We gotta be really careful here. I'm not seeing anybody.
Put a jam on that door.
Wedge ready.
Right, hopefully he doesn't get shot by anybody peeking this alley.
Jammed it.
Yeah, because we're probably gonna work counterclockwise here.
Fall in behind me.
I'm with you.
We did have an opening on this side as well.
Jam the door. Door jam ready.
Cool. So now we got this side pretty much cordoned off for the most part. And we can work the rest. We can work the rest of this warehouse, and then we can proceed to work counterclockwise.
On me.
I don't really like this this angle here. Maybe we should reapproach this. I don't know how large this room is, to be honest.
I got you.
We could do a Simo bridge. Oh, there you go.
Suspect down. Requesting test.
Split the door.
Top priority. Copy.
Contacts, multi. Got multiple in here. Alright, we gotta get these guys going. Blue team, on me. Moving and clear with the Stinger. I'll get a Stinger on my side.
Stinger out. Enter and clear.
Good breach.
LSPD, don't move! Looks clear over here, boss.
Where'd this guy go? There was a dude in here that we didn't shoot.
Blue team, secure the area.
No problem.
We're using a lot of bangers. I thought there was another guy in here. Maybe he fell back? Where did Swan run off to? What the hell?
Good to go.
Oh, there's another section back here. He just went back here by himself and cleared it. The gun there on the table that we can't clear. I wonder if this guy tried running through here.
Red team. Move and clear.
Stacking.
We still got 3 grenades left. We're definitely using way too many grenades. But, I mean, we're getting into a lot of firefights. So you gotta expect... Actually, you know what? They cleared that side. I feel silly now. So they did push in and clear that side. It leads to another, it leads to that other room there. I thought those rooms connected for some reason.
Post up on the right.
I'm on it.
Yeah, sometimes you use a lot of grenades, you think you're going to have a bigger fight than you actually do, and it turns out not being anything too crazy. Let's go ahead and, oh, they already removed the wedge on this. Alright, let's get this door open.
On my move, clear it.
No problem.
Alright, I've just got a wall.
Move in and clear it.
10
Buy it.
We're clear. I'm going. Opening on the right. LSPD, get down!
Drop your gun down.
Hands up, now!
Drop it down. 2 down.
We have a suspect down on number 10 east. Roger, entry team.
Back change.
Medical. I got cuffed. Get down!
Contact right.
Put your hands up!
Gonna be behind the trailer here, see if we can get a stinger on him.
Safe. Hands up above your head. Drop the fucking gun now.
Got folks surrendering. They're fighting somebody.
Down on your knees, hands up.
He pulled a gun. He's just gonna shoot him.
Provide support on me.
Right side window, right side window. Cover's off. Oh my god, this is a clusterfuck.
What's the difference between these two identical cups of coffee? Everything. Everything. Boring, basic coffee is leaving you dead inside. Thank the Dark Lord, there's Bones Coffee. Small batch, full-bodied coffee infused with the most mind-melting flavors in the world. Or underworld.
Oh, I've had flavored coffee.
Oh, I've had flavored coffee before. You haven't had Welcome to the highly caffeinated, slightly wicked, and immortally delicious world of Bones. Our mad coffee scientists have twisted nature to their demented wills.
It's alive!
With frightfully delicious flavors like
Contacts, new contacts. Oh my god, dude, they're everywhere.
Red team, move in, clear the room. On my 6. Right with you.
Got one surrendering. Holy shit, dude, this turned this turned to chaotic so quickly.
Scan that threshold.
Talk reporting. Roger, entry team. Notifying men.
Suspect is incapacitated.
Just shot somebody else or what?
Dropping a light. I'll bang.
Got an open area here. Who knows where that guy went that was just shooting?
Suspect isn't going anywhere. Hold it. All teams. On me, move. Behind you.
We gotta go back here and make sure this guy gets secured because he was shot.
I'm coming into hand.
Yeah, so he had an AK and then he pulled a pistol on me.
Suspect to go.
I got shot quite a few times as well. Right through the glass, we can see a dude just aiming his gun.
Gold team, post up on the right. Roger. It's open. We're good to go.
All right, let's make sure we bang this because there's obviously a dude in here.
Open the door. Clear with stairs.
I've got eyes on him, so if he tries anything.
I want to see hands.
I guess that stinger did absolutely nothing to this guy. Wow, that's kind of crazy, dude. You can see the stinger balls on the ground right here, too, so that's... wow. How'd that not do anything to him? That's crazy.
Split and cover. Acknowledge.
Looks like they took down another suspect there as well. But what are we looking at here for objectives? Seems like the only additional objective we have is to locate the undercover officer. Alright, so it looks like we got a little bit of a larger area here to take down. Very similar to like the garage section in the original map.
Enter the room and clear.
In the original map version. Contact? Where the hell did that come from?
Nothing here. Going in the car. Pack it up. Evidence good to go.
I'm gonna go ahead and leave that closed for now.
Red, split the stack and provide cover. Blue team. Opening on the right. Hold here. Waiting. Unlocked.
Alright, blue is gonna hold, hopefully.
Blue, hold position.
That's not exactly what I wanted them to do. I guess I hit hold on red instead on accident.
Stack up left side.
I'm getting a little rusty with this SWAT AI, I guess, because it's been a little bit. It's been a couple days. All right, let's have them mirror the door.
Got it.
The waves of the caffeine crash.
Coffee. I can't perform my best work while I'm drinking a bunch.
Crashes and crash.
Crashing jitters.
Looks good. Looks good.
All right, get there clear.
On it.
Move again.
I got
I'm
nothing
clear.
here.
Next
Stay
row.
on me.
Right with you.
Stack up right side.
On.
Use the wand. Check for targets.
A little dark over here, isn't it? Really dark, actually.
No device.
I guess it's not too bad. It's like the reflection of the character. All right, no contact. Go ahead and get in there.
Open the door. Clear it. Confirmed. Scan that threshold.
Moving.
Looks clear over here, boss.
Clear.
Dynamic movement. Move and clear.
Got like a map here. Oh, we've got human trafficking records.
Entry team to talk. Collecting
Okay.
evidence.
Opening on the right.
Yeah, we definitely need to get that. So this must be a little bit of environmental storytelling here. That there looks like they're shredding documents. And then we've got a map that kind of shows off, okay, there's the port. It looks like this dealership is pretty much almost directly connected to, or yeah, it looks like it is, because look, we've got the human trafficking victims here. Oh yeah. So this has to be directly connected. Yeah, look, there's a picture right there of the port. That's actually the old one, Void Ship Services. That's actually that's a screenshot of the old map before they redid the new.
I forgot to actually plug the laptop in.
mission. Yeah, this is definitely connected. So it did say firearms trafficking. So this must also be connected to the, you know, that what is it called? What's that map? The beachfront map? So it must be connected to that map as well. This isn't clear.
Blue team, lock the door.
Make sure that's wedged off. Let's get red team down here.
Provide support on me.
Probably take the door on the left. Looks like it's a little bit less busy. They're out of wedges.
Provide support. You got a point.
Move there. Just go over there for now. Blue, are you out of wedges as well?
Jam that door.
Door jam ready.
Okay, so Blue's got some wedges. So let's have red team. What do you guys got?
Sorry.
I realize we got windows up here too. Hopefully they can't see down here.
No traps visible. 2 people. One is unarmed.
Okay, one is unarmed and the other is armed? Is that what he's...
Blue team.
Okay.
Post up right side. Moving into place.
No dice on the door.
Alright, door's gonna be locked. Let's use our breaching shotgun. We haven't used that in a bit. So the way we can do this is we can breach. Yeah, so breach with leader. Clear the leader.
Now be that.
I'm gonna blow the door open. I'm gonna get the hell out of the way, and they're going to push into the room. Actually, let's redo this. So breach with leader, and then use a stinger grenade.
Clear with stinger grenade.
So he's got a stinger ready when I breach his door. Okay, awesome. So I actually haven't done a breach procedure like this yet. This is going to be completely new. All right, we're going to hit it twice, and then we're going to get out of the way. Execute. Contact, go upstairs, go upstairs.
Medical assistance is standing by.
Hold.
I'll get him ready. I have to do this.
Yep, I got him on the stairs.
You got the wrong person.
We shot him. Good shots, boys.
Brilliant's good to go. Compliant.
This is Talk. Roger, entry team. Great work. Keep going.
Red.
Red team search.
Secure.
Acknowledge.
That way blue can hold on that other threshold. It's pretty good decent positioning here.
Duffs are on. Securing.
I don't see anybody else over here. Could be behind that desk.
Making it safe.
Cool. Let's go ahead and stack up on the threshold.
Split and cover.
Moving into place.
Get a fresh magazine in. Hearing someone else talk, possibly upstairs.
Enter and clear.
Moving in. Opening on the right.
Back behind that desk. Multiple contacts.
Down here, sir.
Yeah, it sounds like we got movement up top.
Ready to go.
Split and provide cover on this door.
Got a gun on the stairs as well. Let's see. We definitely should take these stairs because we've got all these bodies here. We're gonna have to come back for that room there for sure. All right, I'm gonna do clear with leader. Actually, let's just send them up because I was hearing voices, but it could be the room. There could be somebody holding an angle, but I want to say it sounds like it's coming from a room like right over here. So let's just go ahead and have them clear.
Move in and clear.
Have them go dry.
Did
we lose an officer?
Hands up.
Got it
Oh,
back.
Got it bagged.
we did lose an officer.
Weekly weed nights are so much better than weekly wine nights, especially with Mood Cannabis. Wait.
Ooh, wait a second. I didn't even realize somebody got shot. Damn, so that must have went sideways, huh? Yep, he's down.
High ground to talk.
Officer casualty.
Talk to high ground. Roger that. Continue with your mission.
See, if I would have known the layout of this map, if I would have known that this door connects with this office, which also connects to like an open area here, like this isn't closed off. So it looked like we made contact like really early on, and they shot through this way, like through the glass, and just took him out immediately. I don't even think the stinger was effective on this guy here either. He wasn't like, Jesus, dude. I feel like even though we're using our grenades, it's not helping with that stuff. Oh, we got an open door here.
Fall in. On you.
Got one surrendering. Go ahead and stack up on the left
side. In position.
All right, get in there.
Move and clear.
I got your right side hallway.
Opening here. Empty over here. No time to hang up. Don't worry.
Well, there looks like that's the dead officer over there too.
Go to talk. Element to talk. Talk to high ground. Roger that. Trailers incoming. Proceed with caution.
Talk. Collecting.
Looks like they shot him in the head as well. Alright, so we've got a couple different options here. Obviously this door is open, and then we've got an opening on that side as well. Let's just go ahead and proceed through this way here.
Post up on the left. Acknowledged.
I'll try my best to kind of hold security as much as I can. Is it going to let me push these guys in here?
Move in. Clear the room. Looks good. Hold here.
Ready when you are.
Alright, so this looks like it continues back. We've got an exit, we got a door on the right. That's actually wedged.
Stack up on the right.
Getting into place. Unlocked.
Okay, we got an unlocked door here.
Mirror it. Done.
Let's see what we got going on in this room here.
Mirror's ready. Opening on the right. It's good. Nothing.
Alright, get in there, clear it then.
Clear it.
Roger that.
If there's nothing.
Opening on the right.
Good here.
Please, I need help.
Sit down.
Oh, behind us. He's down.
Moving in ahead. Don't worry. High ground to talk. Suspect down in the Custom Thames.
High ground to talk.
Blue team.
Roger that.
Stay on me.
Medical assistance is standing by.
I'll wait for my teammate to get over here. We take this guy in custody.
Going into cover. Ready, set.
Awesome. Yeah, I came around the corner. His gun was down, but I mean, he was just engaging our officer. So I didn't really want to hesitate there, but it looked like his gun was down.
Element.
Warm water before bed fixes tooth and gum problems overnight. People are fighting decay and repairing damaged gums every night as they sleep by adding one unusual ingredient to a glass of warm water before bed. If you're struggling with painful, loose, discoloured teeth or cavities, gum disease and bad breath, then pay...
Falling behind me.
You got point.
Alright, so this is clear. We've got another room down here, which we're kind of... Hopefully they can't see through here. But it looks like we got a larger room to clear out. Hostages or civilians have been secured. We've just got a couple suspects, one or two suspects. Let's go ahead and do a left side stack. I still got grenades left. This is a larger room. I'm going to try my best. I am going to try my best to get a stinger on this side of the room, because it looks like the room's going to open up a lot more on that side. But let's go ahead and do open with
Clear
leader.
it after my go.
I'm gonna kind of pie this out here. Just enough. I don't want to fully expose myself. Okay. So I know we don't have anybody covering us on this side of the door. We could do like a split stack, so I could do.
Split the stack. On it.
And then someone's gonna come on my side here. Now I can get a flashbang or a stinger over without, you know, being shot up. We're gonna do move on me.
Clear it on my move, roger that.
Good stinger. Get in there, get in there, get in there.
Hands on your head, do it now.
Opening on the left, far side.
Good here.
Looks clear over here, boss.
Alright, stack up.
Split the stack and provide cover.
Looks like we got another door, possible.
Move in, clear the room.
Going in.
Possible exterior?
Nothing.
Chem light. Post up on the right.
I'm good to go.
I was expecting there to be somebody in here. It's such a large room, you know what I mean?
Use the mirror. Check for targets.
Wand ready.
Police, get down!
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to check the lock. We wedged this side. I completely forgot about that.
All clear.
Pick it.
Multi-tool ready.
Oh, I could have breached it, but that works. I didn't realize the door was locked. I didn't pay attention to the... I just wanted to open and clear, and I accidentally just... That's whatever. All right, get in there.
Move in. Clear it.
Doing it.
Pie it.
Trying to get cover.
All good here.
Move!
Probably could have gone behind the wall.
Nothing here, sir.
This looks like cleared space.
Red team. There, move. I'm moving. Split the door. No problem.
Blue team stack up right.
Right side.
Confirmed.
You guys have a wand?
Check it with the mirror.
Copy. We're good to go.
Got the wand.
So there's a bullet hole right here. I wonder if this is a door that we...
Flow to the right. Copy.
That's fine. Like standard door.
Civilian here. Looks clean.
Civilian?
Get the door and move in.
Roger.
So this might be cleared space then.
Opening on the
Got an
right.
opening overhead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is cleared space. I didn't see this door here. Jesus, I didn't even know there was an exit. I wonder where this last guy is that we're missing. He's probably in the parking lot or something, huh? Whoa, what the hell? Wow. I turned around and it looks like he was surrendering, but he already started shooting. Too late for that one, buddy. Probably gonna give us unauthorized for that. That wasn't even the last guy.
On me, move.
Got you 6.
I don't know where the hell that other officer went. He didn't get shot too, did he? No. It's just super dangerous clearing out this this big open area like this parking lot. Contact down.
Requesting text. Talk to entry team. Roger that. Medical assistance is standing by. I'll save it.
Copy. Get him in custody. Put the firearm.
Talk to entry team. Copy that. All zipped up. Put him on safe and let him hang.
Oh, there it is. All right. Not too bad. We took a little bit of time on that one. I mean, 29 minutes seems like a little. We probably could have done that in like 25, maybe even 20. That's going to be it right there. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll see you in the next one.
Fellow elites, now that we've made travel so expensive, this world-famous resort is one of the least crowded places on Earth, and no one can afford to fly.
You get buildings that are just so plain and rectangular and square and just bogus. It's like we are regressing in life. You know, this was grand to be able to build something like this. But what we building now, trash.
Right? The fires that we heard about in Chicago and all those things, they were removing all of this. Look at this detail. This is a completely different city in which we know of today. Because look at this. Look at the architecture. Look at the design. Think of how hard it would be to create all of this. Right? We can barely make a little beam and wrap it in mirrored paper, let alone statues like this made out of copper. Right? Look at this archway. Look at the detail here. This is in Chicago. This is old world history, which is not taught about. Right? They keep us in the dark. They don't teach us about our true potential and how there used to be a unified advance.
Dagon. In the annals of history, as recorded in the sacred scriptures of the Bible, there echoes the names of ancient gods, idols revered and feared by nations long vanished. First, we encounter Baal, the Canaanite deity of fertility and storm. His name resonates with the rumbling of thunder and the promise of rain, a false hope to those who sought his favor. In the Book of Kings, his presence looms large as a challenge to the prophet Elijah. In 1 Kings 18:21, Elijah confronts the people of Israel, saying, "How long halt you between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him." A stark choice laid before them, a test of faith at the altar of Carmel. Then there is Asherah, often depicted as a consort to gods, a symbol of motherhood and fertility. Her worship infiltrated the very heart of Israel, a silent creeping vine in the garden of God's chosen. In Judges 6:25, the Lord commands Gideon, saying, "Throw down the altar of Baal that thy father hath, and cut down the grove, Asherah, that is by it." In the shadowy corners of Philistine temples lurked Dagon, a god of grain and agriculture, yet his story is one of humiliation and defeat. The Ark of the Covenant, the very embodiment of God's presence, was placed in Dagon's temple, only to witness the fall of Dagon before the might of the Lord. In 1 Samuel 5:4, the Philistines discover, when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the Ark of the Lord. The mention of Molech brings a shudder, a god associated with the heinous act of child sacrifice. His worship was an abomination, a defilement of all that is holy and good. Leviticus 18:21 sternly warns, "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech." Ashtoreth, a goddess of the Sidonians, represents the seductive power of foreign deities, a lure to idolatry and immorality. In 1 Kings 11:5, King Solomon's heart is led astray. for Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians. Lastly, we encounter Chemosh, the deity of the Moabites, a god of war and subjugation. In Judges 11:24, the challenge is laid before Israel, "Wilt not thou possess that which Chemosh thy god giveth thee to possess?" Today, we will focus on Dagon, also known as Dagon, who holds a significant place in the Bible as one of the ancient deities of Mesopotamia. Considered the father of Baal, Dagon's existence can be traced back to 3000 BC, making him one of the oldest deities in Mesopotamian history. The Philistine people practiced a unique form of worship dedicated to Dagon. Recognized as a potent god, Dagon's worship involved specific rituals and practices central to Philistine spirituality. Although the Bible doesn't provide comprehensive details on these customs, historical and cultural studies offer some understanding. Dagon was typically depicted as a creature part human, part fish, representing his dominion over both land and sea. This common depiction of Dagon as a deity with a fish-like form, often portrayed as part man and part fish, originates from ancient Near Eastern art and writings, not from the biblical text itself. This imagery aligns with the belief that Dagon was a god of fertility and agriculture, and possibly of the sea, which might explain the fish-like aspects of his representation in ancient art. However, it's important to note that these depictions are based on archaeological and historical sources outside the Bible. The biblical narrative itself focuses more on the events and theological implications surrounding Dagon, rather than on his physical characteristics. This depiction of Dagon, blending human and aquatic traits, suggests that their worship likely included offerings, prayers, and possibly sacrifices to seek his favor and protection. Despite the lack of complete information on their worship methods, it is clear that the Philistines highly revered and worshipped Dagon. In the Philistine belief system, Dagon was seen as a source of protection, prosperity, and military success. Their victories and achievements were often attributed to Dagon's influence and power. It is probable that their devotion to Dagon included various acts of worship, such as presenting food, drink, and symbolic items. Biblically, Dagon is mentioned in association with the Philistines on 2 occasions, spanning the era of the Israelite judges to the reigns of Samuel and Saul. Dagon first appears in the narrative of Samson, a divinely appointed liberator of the Israelites from Philistine oppression. Tragically, Samson's love for Delilah, a Philistine woman, leads to his downfall. Delilah, through deceit and manipulation, uncovers the secret of Samson's strength, his uncut hair, a symbol of his divine empowerment. Once his hair is cut, Samson loses his strength and is captured, ultimately finding himself in Dagon's temple. Judges 16:23-24. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together, for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their god, and to rejoice. For they said, Our God hath delivered Samson our enemy into our hand. And when the people saw him, they praised their God. For they said, Our God hath delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. The credit for Samson's defeat was attributed to Dagon by the Philistines, who exalted their idol for overcoming the God of Israel by delivering Samson into their hands. This belief led the Philistines to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, expressing their gratitude for what they perceived as their idol's role in their victory. In their mockery of Samson, the Philistines not only captured and blinded him, but also made him a source of entertainment during their ceremonies. Amidst a gathering of numerous Philistines in a grand house, Samson, guided by a young boy holding his hands, requested to be led to the pillar supporting the structure. It was at this moment that Samson beseeched God to grant him strength, enabling him to exact revenge upon his enemies for their act of blinding him. Judges 16:30. And Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the lords, and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. God responded to Samson's final plea, granting him a momentous victory over the Philistines, albeit at the cost of his own life. This event underscored the ineffectiveness of the Philistines' devotion to Dagon, as their idol did not truly protect them. Remarkably, Samson's most significant triumph occurred at his weakest point. Samson was broken, humiliated, and blind. This vulnerability forced Samson to fully depend on God, a departure from his previous character, where he seldom appeared as a man of prayer. Confronted with his darkest moment, Samson earnestly sought God. His humility was evident in his reliance on a young boy's guidance. No longer self-reliant, his newfound humility facilitated his final and biggest victory. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Samson's narrative is a compelling testament that true strength and victory stem from surrendering to God and trusting in his might, especially in times of weakness and humility. It demonstrates that God's power is perfected in our frailties. Through Samson's dependence on God in his afflictions, he achieved a triumph surpassing all his prior deeds, teaching us that God's strength is revealed in our weaknesses. Samson's ultimate sacrifice reminds us to depend on God, assuring us that he can turn our weakest moments into victories that glorify him. In 1 Samuel 4, another pivotal event occurs. The Israelites, again battling the Philistines, lose the Ark of the Covenant. The sons of Eli, Hophni, and Phinehas exemplified moral corruption, invoking God's displeasure with Israel. Their erroneous decision to bring the Ark to the battlefield, believing it would
Goddamn sick of it. This is the worst time to ever be a celebrity. You're gonna be finished. Everyone's doomed. Michael Jackson has been dead for 10 years, and this nigga has 2 new cases. And if you haven't watched that documentary, then I'm begging you, don't watch it. It's fucking gross. I felt like HBO was sticking baby dicks in my ears for 4 hours straight. Really nasty shit. I don't want to know all these things. Turns out, Michael Jackson allegedly likes a long gander at the anus. So they said he stares at people's buttholes. That's what they said. That's how gross the documentary was. I'm gonna say something that I'm not allowed to say. But I gotta be real. I don't believe these motherfuckers. I do not believe it. But let me qualify the statement. I am what's known on the streets as a victim blamer. You know what I mean? If somebody come up to me like, Dave, Chris Brown just beat up Rihanna. I'll be like, well, what did she do? Dave, Michael Jackson was molesting children. Well, what were those kids wearing at the time? I don't think he did it. But you know what? Even if he did do it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, it's Michael Jackson. I know more than half the people in this room have been molested in their lives. But it wasn't no goddamn Michael Jackson, was it? This kid got his dick sucked by the king of pop. All we did is awkward Thanksgivings for the rest of our lives. You know how good it must have felt to go to school the next day after that shit? Hey, Billy, how was the weekend? How was my weekend? Michael Jackson sucks my dick! And that was my first sexual experience. If I'm starting here, then sky's the limit. I know it seems harsh, but man, somebody's got to teach these kids. There's no such thing as a free trip to Hawaii.
Lees, what up, bro?
Welcome back to Uncensored. Last week I criticised Elon Musk's decision to allow the massacre-denying conspiracy theorist Alex Jones to return to X, formerly Twitter. Some people weren't happy. They included the influential conservative personality Steven Crowder. This is what he had to say on his show, Louder with Crowder, about me.
This brings us to Piers Morgan's rules for me. He hosted Alex Jones on his very own program this year. Piers Morgan doesn't understand what freedom of speech is. Piers Morgan has also hosted Suhail Shaheen, the Taliban spokesperson. Jeez. Wahid Asif Shaita, an Islamist extremist leader. Jeremy Corbyn, the anti-Semitic Labour Party leader. Just Piers, stop it. I'm sorry. Fraud. There we go.
Well, in the spirit of hosting very controversial people on my free speech platform, I'm now joined by Steven Crowder, who can call me a free speech hypocrite to my face. Mr. Crowder, good day to you. How are you?
Well, thank you, Piers. Merry Christmas. And let me say off the bat, I do actually appreciate about you. Your audience may not know how rare this is, that you do these interviews live, you don't chop them up, you actually have a discussion, and I've been advocating for that my whole life, so really, I appreciate it. Those are steps in the right direction.
Well, they are, and to be honest with you, the debate about what constitutes free speech and whether there should be limits and if there should be, what they are, I think is really interesting, and a lot of people have strong opinions about this, and I'm perfectly happy to be proven wrong, or to at least have a debate with someone who's got strong views that don't necessarily tally with mine. So I welcome you to the programme. Let's start with your assessment that I'm a free speech hypocrite. So articulate to me why you believe that.
I believe the word I used there was fraud.
You earlier used hypocrite.
Did I really? Okay, I don't remember saying it, but I'll take your word for it, and to some degree, I believe it. Look, I think that in hosting a show uncensored, and I can't see you, but I know you put up the very festive holly leaf on the globe there. It is incumbent upon you. You will say, I believe in the concept of free speech. Now, I'll be very clear in my definition of free speech. It's the constitutional definition of freedom of speech. All speech is permissible outside of a crime, and we have very clear parameters, and these have been affirmed by the Supreme Court, as to what that is. That's a proactive call for violence. The crime is not the speech. The crime is the action causing violence on purpose. Outside of that, everything is permissible. But for a show uncensored, and I know that you said there's a difference between across the pond there, and obviously in the United States, we have a First Amendment that you don't. How would you define freedom of speech?
Well, I don't think we're as far apart as you think. I mean, you talk about the First Amendment not protecting, for example, crime. It's a little bit more complicated. For example, it doesn't protect you if you deliberately defame somebody. And my argument about Alex Jones in particular was that he's just been punished with over $1 billion fine in one of the biggest defamation cases in modern American history for deliberately telling lies about the families of the poor victims of the Sandy Hook massacre over a sustained period of time, which led to them getting direct harassment and other criminal activity. So I was joining all the dots there of his particular situation, and I concurred with Elon Musk's original view when he was asked about it when he first bought Twitter last year, which was he was not going to allow him back on. He's now changed his mind, but my opinion was based on the Constitution of the United States not protecting you if you are guilty of defamation.
Well, okay, so I'm going to have to take the rounds out of that magazine from how loaded that question was and so much misinformation there. And that's the beauty of the freedom of speech. You can say that You can speak misinformation, and you have the right to. For example, saying he knowingly lied. Look, I'm not in the business of defending everything that Alex Jones has said, okay? But if you're going to say the 22 minutes out of 8,000 hours of broadcast time, for which he apologized, acknowledged that he was wrong, constitutes what you are saying is proactively lying. That is a very dangerous precedent. It's not accurate.
Hang on,
It's not accurate.
Stephen, he did deliberately lie for a sustained period of time, for years, about these families. He knew Sandy
Tell me how he
Hook.
deliberately lied.
He knew that
Tell me how he deliberately
lied. And he was found to have
Tell me
deliberately
how he deliberately lied.
And by the way, in his defense, he
Tell me
tried
how he deliberately lied, please.
In his defense, he tried to play the First Amendment card, and it was rejected by the judge. Rejected.
Tell me how he deliberately lied, please.
Because he knew that it wasn't a hoax. He knew the massacre had happened.
Incorrect.
This isn't what he said.
That's incorrect.
Let's play what he said.
It's got inside job written all over it. Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. People just instinctively know that there's a lot of fraud going on. But it took me about a year with Sandy Hook to come to grips with the fact that the whole thing was fake.
Whole thing was fake. Repeatedly. A series of different shows he did.
You still haven't answered. You still haven't answered. That doesn't prove that he knowingly lied. Anything. Look, Alex Jones is wrong about a lie.
You're a very smart.
Alex Jones is wrong about a lie.
Stephen, you and I disagree.
But he's also
Stephen, you and I disagree. Hang on.
Believed it,
I'm going to respond to you. You and I disagree about many things. We agree about many too, right? But on this point, you're a very smart guy. I wouldn't question it for a moment. You and I both know Alex Jones knew that was not faked, Sandy Hook. You and I both know that.
So I have to spit the words out that you just tried to place in my mouth. I do not know that. I don't agree with the premise. And you have yet to prove it. Here's the beauty, though.
I don't have to prove it.
Even if you were to commit defamation, even if... No, it didn't. And even... Assuming that you don't discuss the caps with your audience, and I'm not going to continue speaking as though we're having a dialogue, even assuming that you don't discuss the caps, that he would never pay out, the far lower settlement that they have decided they would allow, considering this will go to a superior court and will get thrown out, even if you allow all of those things, here's the beauty of the First Amendment. Here's the beauty of the First Amendment. Even if you at one point commit defamation, you still don't forfeit your right to speak. Don't
you don't.
It's a fundamental human right.
I agree.
And that's not why it was banned from. That's not why it was banned from Twitter.
I
know
know
that.
He was banned from Twitter. He was banned from Twitter for having a pop at some guy from CNN. I don't care about that. I'm more interested in why Elon Musk tweeted when he bought Twitter and was asked, "Will you bring back Alex Jones?" He said, "No, I won't allow somebody back on, having gone through the pain himself of a child dying in his own arms, one of his children. He wasn't going to allow somebody profited from the pain of dead children to be back on the platform." He then changed his mind, which he's allowed to do. He owns the platform. X is a private company owned by Elon Musk. He can do what he likes with it. But they also have a series of rules which are available on their website, which you can check about what is allowed and not allowed. And they will deplatform you if you transgress those rules. And my point to you is that the situation with Alex Jones is that he was found guilty in an American court of defamation. And yes, it's entirely down to Elon Musk that he can bring him back. But I agree with the first version of Elon Musk's decision-making, not the second one based on a completely undemocratic poll he put on his own Twitter feed.
Well, I agree with you that it shouldn't be left to a democratic poll because the First Amendment is not subject to a vote.
Right, but you accept the First Amendment of the US Constitution has a number of things which are excluded from protection, whether it's child pornography, fraud, defamation. There's a whole list of things which you'll simply...
But that has nothing to do with speech.
No, but you're conflating... But I think you've mischaracterized what I said then, because I've never said he hasn't got a right to say what he wants. He can say what he likes. I believe fundamentally in anyone's right to say whatever they want. The question is accountability. And the US Constitution, which you don't think I know anything about, but actually I know a lot about. And I
didn't say you don't know anything about it. I really don't believe that. I know that you have said it.
From that same show you did, you basically said I don't know much about the US Constitution because I'm not American. And that's fine. But I have lived and worked in America for 20 years. I have tried to really get a handle on the US Constitution. And on the issue of the First Amendment, it is a complicated thing. It's not as simple as saying you can say whatever you want. Well, it is, because it doesn't allow the unfettered free speech, but with protection. You're suggesting it does.
It absolutely does.
It doesn't.
It absolutely does, barring, would you like me to explain, barring what I've already outlined? actual criminal behavior calling for violence against other people. For example, Pierce, look,
Yeah, but
you know that
including
you have been,
defamation.
and I'm saying this in your defense. For example, you made your joke about being a two-spirited penguin, right? I
Yeah.
thought it was cute. I think it was funny, and I understand the point that you were trying to make. Okay, you have had people accuse you of creating violence against trans. You know that, and we know it's absurd. So who defines what is actually calling for violence, or if you
but here's the
basically in a
difference.
roundabout way
No, I
maybe
hear you.
causing violence? No, unless you called for violence.
No, but you keep
didn't.
saying
said
that
you were a two-spirited
you
penguin.
keep saying that your only barrier on free speech is crime.
Yes.
And I keep reminding you that Alex Jones was found guilty of defamation, and that is one of the things that's not protected by the First Amendment.
No, it's not protected in a you can have civil damages, and your First Amendment rights don't cease to exist. In other words, you can pay. You can pay the piper for what you have done in
But you're
that
still being
individual
held
instance.
accountable
So if someone
for your
at some
defamation.
point, if someone accuses you of defamation, and let's say has a suit levied against you that actually, by God, is successful, let's say that, does that forbid you from speaking publicly thereafter?
No,
No,
of
you
course
don't
not.
lose
No,
it. It's
but
a
it-
fundamental human right.
Not at all, but it does allow, I'm exercising my rights to free speech to say I think he shouldn't be allowed back on X, which was the position of the owner of X until last week. So my point is that Elon Musk has made two judgment calls about this. One I agreed with, and one I didn't. And I'm exercising my free speech rights to say I don't agree with it.
You are, and I completely support your right to that. The problem is Elon Musk changed his mind in the face of new information. And if we want to have productive dialogues, we need to, you know what, this is one thing I often ask. And by the way, I think that none of this is a gotcha for Twitter clicks. I hope to God it's not. How often, when you were on CNN, or how often when you were on your morning show there in the UK, or how often do you see on any news network someone say, you know what, new information came out and I was wrong? And I say that because you've done it, and I appreciate it. You said, you know what, if I knew what I know now about the COVID vaccine, specifically that if you get the COVID vaccine, you cannot transmit it, if I knew that that was incorrect, I wouldn't have espoused the views that I did. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think the problem that we have in today's society is not wanting to allow people to be wrong, to make mistakes. In the realm of comedy, look, good jokes and bad jokes come from the same place. Sometimes you have to risk something that's not funny.
Well, I agree
Sometimes
with
you
you
have
about
to
all
express
that.
an opinion.
Yeah, but I agree with you about all that.
Sure.
I agree with that. I tell you, that's really the bedrock of this show. But I come back again to why I had a particular issue with the Alex Jones thing, is that unlike the other circumstances you're describing, in his case, he was found guilty of a serious defamation against the Sandy Hook families. He was fined over $1 billion. So far, he's not paid a dime of that money. And, you know, Elon Musk has made two calls on it. Like I said, the first one, I agreed with. I don't think that people like Alex Jones should be allowed an unchallenged, unfettered public platform to spew lies which are done deliberately.
Unchallenged?
In my estimation, to spew lies.
Unchallenged? Are you out of your tree, sir?
No, unchallenged.
It's a cesspool.
No,
Where anyone can say anything they
people
want.
can reply to him, but no one can have a direct challenge to Alex Jones, like I did when he came on my show. No, like you picked out, for example, that he came on my show, Jeremy Corbyn, Taliban spokesman, and so on. Yes, because in each of those cases, I put them through the mincer, right? And I'm prepared to have them on to give them a hard time and challenge them. You might agree or disagree with that, but they're all pretty volatile interviews. But I was able to challenge what I perceived to be their untruths. Right? I'll show you a clip of the Corbyn one to show you what I mean. Have a look at this.
You seem to be over-concerned with
anti-Semitism.
No, I did not.
Should Hamas stay in power? It's actually,
Are you done yet?
It's actually a critical question.
Are you done yet?
It's a critical question.
Are you done yet?
No, it's the question.
Are you done yet?
Should they stay in power?
Are you done yet?
This country says they're a terror group. Do you agree? And should they stay in power?
Listen, I do not approve, support, or welcome Hamas.
Are you prepared to call Hamas a terror group?
Is it possible to have a rational
You can't,
discussion
can you?
with you? Is it possible? Come on, answer that
You
question.
can't, can you?
answer it.
No, it's my show. You answer my question. Now, the point of playing that clip, other than to entertain you, as I'm sure it did, is that, yes...
I hate that clip. I hate everything about that clip.
Why do you hate it?
I hate it because I don't like Jeremy Corbyn, but I think he's a bombastic prick, but I also think that you should have let him finish speaking. Why? Because then he would express bad ideas.
Yeah,
That's why I support freedom of
but
speech.
actually, in the end, I could tell very quickly he was never going to give an answer, and therefore we were in a game of cat and mouse, which went on so long that the viewer was left in no uncertain terms what his answer actually was. Because otherwise he'd just say Hamas are a terror group. It's not going to do. And in fact, 2 days later, he admitted Hamas are a terror group. that was his position. But only after I shamed him into doing it. So look, here's my question for you.
So that's it. So you want to shame people into agreeing with you?
No,
I
not
would
at all.
rather just let
Not
them
at
speak
all.
if they have bad
Not
ideas.
at all. I want to shame them into giving an honest opinion. What I will really lose my rag about, and I'm sure you must be the same, when people just obfuscate and don't give a straight answer to a straight, simple question, then I will go after them. If they give an honest answer, even if I don't agree with it, I respect that. And in fact, I think people who watch my show regularly will see that is my position, whether I agree with them or not. I have lots of people on that I don't really agree with. But I find the ones that I have respect for are the ones who give a straight answer to a straight question. So let me ask you a straight question. Let me ask you a straight question.
Sure.
David Duke, the former KKK leader, he's banned from Twitter. Elon Musk hasn't brought him back. Should he be allowed to be back on X?
Throw that at me. Really? You just say, I want to ask someone a straight question. You have me here. I'm basically a specter. I don't appear in any... You want to ask me about David Duke?
Yes. Because he's banned from Twitter.
Should David Duke be allowed back on X?
Yes.
I'm not as familiar with David Duke as I am with Alex, which is why I was able to point out that you cannot prove that he knowingly lied about anything.
No.
If David Duke has called for the violence, like, look, if David Duke has called for the violence, actions of violence against minority groups, then no. If David Duke has espoused horrible points of view that can be refuted, by the way, not only by other people who are on X, but by the community notes on X, and on a platform where people are free to speak on both sides of the aisle, then yes. It doesn't mean that I think he's anything other than a racist prick.
So I'm trying to work out
Can I make one point?
Yeah.
Can I make one point that I think is very... This is really... And hopefully we can agree on this, because I actually disagree with you that Elon Musk can do whatever he wants with his own platform. It comes down to this. I think, and if you look at the historical record, I think it is far more dangerous for society to engage in a culture of censorship, of viewpoint discrimination, than it is to allow people to speak freely, barring the committing of violent crimes. I think that we see a far worse dystopia in our future if we allow the government and these big tech platforms to determine who can speak and who cannot. And we've seen some very clear examples of this. If you give me 30 seconds, let me lay this out for you. For example, I don't think they have the right to, for example, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Here's why. They benefit from Section 230. Now, I know you have a lot of fans in the UK. They may not be familiar with this. Let me explain what it means. They're basically treated like public utilities, meaning that they have immunity from liability for someone saying something on their platform. For example, AT&T here in the States can't ban you from their phone service because your racist Aunt Tilly drops an N-bomb after a few drinks at Thanksgiving. They're a public utility. These big tech platforms are treated as platforms where they are not legally liable for what is permitted. But that allows them to engage in viewpoint discrimination, and then there is no accountability. For example, the Hunter Biden laptop story, which we know, and this is why I make all references publicly available, because I want to be held to account, and I will be held to account, would have changed the election if the government was not, and when I say colluding, I mean Joe Biden, Jen Psaki, Kamala Harris, Karen Jean-Pierre, calling for the removal of Joe Rogan from Spotify, calling for the removal of vaccine scientists, by the way, of mRNA vaccine scientists from public platforms. If all information was allowed to be transmitted freely, like the platforms, as they are treated under our legal precedent here and Section 230, guess what? Donald Trump would be president. I'm saying this as a matter of record and fact. Millions of people would not have gotten the mRNA vaccine, specifically men under 30, and lockdowns would have lasted days, weeks, not years. That is irrefutable, but you had the government and these platforms deciding which views were allowed and which views weren't. And I don't think I should be allowed, you should be allowed, and certainly not the government colluding with 5 companies who control over 90% of the information in the digital sphere. It is terrifying to me. You may think I'm an absolutist. I think I'm reasonable.
No, I don't. I actually don't think that's unreasonable at all. In fact, I have written numerous columns about the outrage of the New York Post having that initial expose of Hunter Biden's laptop censored by Twitter, as it was then, for 2 weeks right before the 2020 election. You know, I said to Donald Trump to his face, never mind the stolen election bullshit you keep trying to pretend happened. I said, focus on that, because that probably swung the election, because it stopped the media investigating properly what was going on with Hunter Biden in Ukraine and what his father's involvement would be. I think that could have swung the election. So I absolutely agree with you.
Let me give you a funny story about it. And not only could it, it would have, according to Dr. Epstein. Do you realize? Now, I'm a comedian, right? This show, that's why I appreciate you said, hey, you got to chuckle from our segment. some of it is tongue in cheek, and I appreciate that you recognize that and not try and use, you acknowledge that it's a joke, whether it's funny or not. So as a comedian, the host of a comedy show, Rudy Giuliani was on this show, and the first time the public ever saw Hunter Biden's laptop was on this show. He brought it up. He goes, I have the laptop here. The FBI came, they searched my offices. They took everything but the laptop. I go, wait. Is that the Hunter Biden laptop? He said yes. Episode is banned. Suspended from YouTube. Think about that. Think about how terrifying it is. It was an accident.
It's wrong. It's wrong. Let me ask you though, yesterday on your show, you appeared wearing a t-shirt saying Alex Jones was right, changed my mind. So my question is, what was he right about?
Oh gosh, how much time do you have?
Well, are you talking about Sandy Hook?
No, I'm not talking about Sandy Hook. He said he was wrong about Sandy Hook.
Right.
He apologized for Sandy Hook.
When he was sued, he said he was wrong.
Eventually, but I'm saying obviously the shirt wouldn't be addressing that. If it's he says I was wrong, it would be awfully daft to
But
be
what
wearing
are
a shirt saying he was
you
right about
alluding
something.
to then?
I'm alluding to, for crying out loud, if you talk about intelligence agencies spying on Americans, if you talk about what we've done with South American countries, as allowing the spread of STDs, for which Hillary Clinton apologized for, if you talk about nation building, where there have been underhanded deals with nations who don't have our best interests at heart, I mean, it's, take your pick. I don't believe that, for example, George W. Bush was next to the Twin Towers with an Acme plunger. No, I'm not that kind of a conspiracy theorist, but when Alex Jones said, look, you are going to be corralled into social media ghettos and lose your right to speak, he was right. He's right about a lot. And I will say this, he's been wrong about plenty. I am not here to defend everything that Alex Jones has ever said. I'm willing to defend everything that I have said on my program. But that man is exactly who you would expect him to be. He's a friend of mine, and when everyone else tucked tail and they ran, I'm not going to do that. I'll tell him he's wrong. I'll tell you where I think he's wrong. But that man has a right to speak, just like I believe you have the right to speak. And Pierce, if you think they're not going to come for you, oh my word, do you have another thing coming? And I hope that you don't. I genuinely hope that you don't. Well, I mean, I've had people say that I was a hate speaker because I said soccer was gay. I do. I think so.
You think soccer's gay?
Homosexual, yes.
You know what? That's a whole other debate, Stephen Crowder. Let's have a debate about whether soccer is gay. And if it is, by the way, I would be happy to embrace its homosexual side.
Well, I know you would. I know you would, but with that accent, you have to be careful. People take you seriously. I think it's great. I think it's great if you're a 6-year-old girl or a homosexual from Greece, to quote Nick DiPaolo.
Yeah, you know the difference in our football and your football? We don't wear helmets to protect ourselves. We're real men over here.
You also don't allow contact.
We're real men over here. It's there's no great padding or great shoulder pads and helmets. We just get stuck into each other, and that's the difference. Americans
and Academy Awards.
You like to wear helmets and carry guns. We just use these guns. That's a whole other debate as well. Stephen Crowder, got to leave it there. It's been a good debate. I've actually enjoyed the tone of this debate. I think it's a really interesting area, free speech. I think ultimately we agree about more things with free speech than we disagree. But let's keep the debate going. Thank you for joining me.
Merry Christmas, Pierce. I appreciate it.
And you. All the best.
Hey.
Yo, what up? It's Donut, and you tuning in to all your Illuminati news. Make sure you put a 1 in the comment that you can hear me okay. We are going to go over this movie, Leave the World Behind. Everybody been talking about it. I got the audio playing. Hold up 1 second. We can get into it because it gets into a lot of stuff, a lot of predictive programming, a lot of symbology that maybe a lot of people missed. But as you can see, the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, democracy dies in darkness, the blackouts. This is a topic I've talked about a lot on this channel for a long, long time. I've covered the LeMay papers. In 2018, my most popular video, over 500,000 views, was removed. Because when we talk about certain topics before it's allowed, then, uh-oh, you're in trouble. Just like we made a video saying there was going to be bank runs, boom, uh-oh, you're in trouble. Twitter removed the video. So, been predictive programming for a long time, and now it's on Netflix. Netflix is owned by the Bernays family. Edward Bernays, who created propaganda. That's what it's for. When the world was locked down, just a few days before it, what was on Netflix trending? It was about lockdowns. That's what was on the damn Netflix before. So we can see that that's what's on here now. Executive produced by the Obamas. If you don't know what executive produced is, that means you control the narrative of the story. We talk about the Illuminati worms a lot here on this channel, and they bring up the love bug. I'm not going to say this word, but you got the the WEF, right, the World Economic Forum, saying that the next big event is going to be one of these cyber incidences that this movie is about. Now, this has all been in Congress for a long time with Newt Gingrich. There was another book. They never made it into a movie called 1 Second After. That's where this whole idea is coming from 1 second after that book. So we've been talking about this. We've been covering this for a long, long time. But now it is in the psyche, the soul of the masses. So it's something to look out for, because the day after this was released, bam, cyber incidents started happening. They're blaming China for it. That's a whole other psyop as well that we can get into with Matthew Ehret down the road. But as you can see, Netflix made this film and did a bidding war for it in 2020. So all the symbols that you see in this movie, here I'll zoom in so you can see it better. All the symbols that you see in the movie of the blue roofs, all of that, all was written, recorded, filmed, edited time ago. And then right when they release it, all these rituals go down like the day it happens. It's pretty nuts. But I see we got hundreds of people in here. Hello, everybody. We're just getting straight to the point. It is a little late. Hello, everybody. And I just want to get this out there while it's still fresh, because people are going to forget about it in a couple of days or so. But these movies all over Netflix, about destruction, right? It's about Squid Games, sex and violence. Sex and violence, sex and violence. And that's what's popular. As football is the most popular show in the world, it's football. And that is a violent sport. And people go and do riots after it because it's a cathartic experience. It goes into the death drive. We're going to get into the Illuminati news. This is a topic nobody's pointed out yet with this movie, Leave the World Behind. The Illuminati connections to it, pretty wild. When the movie starts, they play a song by Joey Badass. That's the song that pops up at first, called The Revenge. Well, you want to know a lyric to that song? Why did they choose that song? Let me tell you one of the lyrics. They gonna say, I joined the Illuminati. I got demons all around me. Tell me what they know about me. Is the beginning of this song, executive produced by U.S. presidents. It is an Illuminati movie, and it's predictive programming for what's to come. Now, the reason they want this event to take place is because of the U.S. debt clock. The U.S. debt clock's at a $33 trillion mark right now. That's an occult number. This is occult, which simply means hidden. So secret societies, occult symbols, all this big agenda at play, everything's occult, but they need to reset the debt clock because we are in a jubilee. After the Shemitah comes the Jubilee, which is connected to economic resets, the greatest reset right there. And that's what it's all about. So they start the movie off with the Illuminati. What's up, poop? What's up? Everybody say, what's up, poop? So that's the beginning song, Illuminati. And then they go into the Kool and the Gang song. Look at the Kool and the Gang music video that they're playing. Looks very Illuminati-esque, like Eyes Wide Shut right there. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Squid Games, right? You got the Squid Games, the other most popular show, and he's doing the Illuminati hand gesture. This was so popular it broke the internet. Literally broke the internet in South Korea. This is a worldwide thing, as you can see, is trending #1 of sex and violence. And it goes into a lot of racial tensions, as well as you got the most pasty looking white people as one side, and then you got the black family. It goes into Charles Manson, his race war, Helter Skelter, and it's all connected to this 128 code. We've been breaking down the 128 code. Shout out to all my loyal Patreon subscribers. We've been breaking down the 128 code. Nuts. So this movie was released December 8th. That's 128, 12/8. Julia Roberts is in it. Her birthday is 10/28, 128. Matthew Perry, she used to date him. He died on 10/28, 128. The space shuttle exploded on January 28th, 128. The Twin Towers started to fall at 10:28 in the morning, 128. That movement named Q started on 10/28, 128. The list goes on and on with this number 128 in the 128 code. Even I had somebody in the comments pointed out that the show Friends that's in this movie aired on 128. What? Now it's connected movement, the Beatles and John Lennon, as John Lennon was killed on 128 and Jim Morrison of the Doors born on 128. December 8th. This is the day the movie came out. So it's all over the place. Here's one more Illuminati symbol that they show of the all-seeing eye right in the beginning. The all-seeing eye. And I'll get to the comments here in a moment. Just my brain's just on fire right now because I just got off a big live stream with Anya Saru at the Spiritual Shade Room, Tommy Truthful, Paranoid American, and Jay Dreams. So we can see that that is what's popular. Sex and violence is Game of Thrones is another one of the most popular shows. Now the title Thrones is interesting. At the very end of the movie, you might see they go into this big mansion house called the Thorne family. Thorne is an anagram for throne because that is the castle which they will rule, is the throne. So it's the Thorne family, but it's an anagram for throne. Just like they have the Huxley family, which are their next door neighbors, which goes into Julian Huxley of UNESCO, of eugenics, of the United Nations, of the World Wildlife Fund, of Aldous Huxley, these insiders, the Huxleys, who, that's a whole other video for another day. We've covered it quite a bit on this channel. But UNESCO, where you're getting this whole alien invasion, all these aliens they're finding are coming out of the United Nations, and it's all about this climate stuff. As you'll see that this movie is all about the left's propaganda. Easy to point out because the executive producers are the Democrats, which are the mob, as demo, because this is all a cult. Demo means mob. It's the mob rule. You know, and the mob is always wrong. All the people who think that they're all correct are usually wrong and not usually honest or truthful. So here we go. Edward Bernays, propaganda, that's who is control of Netflix or created Netflix, is the Bernays family. Edward Bernays, propaganda. Where's the book? I got the book. Let me see. I can show the book real quick. Crystallizing Public Opinion. That's what it's all about. Oh, it's right here. Gotta have the books ready. All about getting wicked smart. We getting wicked smart. Make sure to go over to the Patreon and make sure you smash that like button. We about to get wicked smart. And we be getting wicked smart over on the Patreon. And we be covering topics like propaganda over there. And we just released a new episode going over Dr. Farrell, Oxford Scholar's new book on plasma. How plasma could be an inorganic intelligent life form. I mean, wow, super fascinating. But most of all, smash that like button, please, and thank you. And if you want the donut VHS box as well, I got those links down below. We are about to ship them out. Just got finished autographing over 200 boxes, so make sure to grab that. So Netflix, it's all about the color coding. We can see this movie's full of color coding with blue and orange. Goes into a lot of occult stuff. Here you can see the house with the blue roof and the blue car. Now remember, this was before Hawaii. My video on the blue Hawaii was probably the most trending video out there. All the big researchers, even Max Egan shared my video on the blue Hawaii in the Dews, as I was in Lahaina. And here is the blue car and the blue roofs. The Rothschilds even have the blue roof or whatever. But remember, this was filmed and edited and written before Hawaii took place. So all the stuff in here, you'll see tons of occult symbolism. All the windows are the Cross of Lorraine going into the Knights Templars. We'll break that down as well. But the Hawaii connection is very prominent because Obama is from Hawaii. That's what they say, at least. And the blue, the frequency of the color blue is 666. You can see right here, they got a 6. It's at 6 o'clock, and there's another 6. 666 right in the beginning of the film with the blue. It's created by the Obama's record label, I would call it, but movie production, Higher Ground. You can see the 19 steps. I mean, there's some symbolism right there alone. But the 128 code's very interesting. I've been seeing how this spells out ball, right? B-A-A-L, ball, meaning Lord. But it's another Lord. It's a scary one that likes evil stuff. And Jay Dreams is pointing out this Babylonian universe looks very similar to it as well. So Jim Morrison was born 128, the day this came out. His dad was part of Coleman Talkin. So you got all these celebrities, these musical artists and acts, Jay-Z, all these different Illuminati celebrities is what I title them. Any celebrity you see hanging out with the president, that means they're politically affiliated. That means they're trying to capture the youth's mind for the next 111 years as the Illuminati plans out their plans via the century-long goals by enticing the youth with power. So the youth don't really care about the generations to come in the future, so they entice them with power. At least this was according to the guy who founded and built the Illuminati. That's what he wrote, hands down. So if you think this is all weird stuff we're talking about, we're just talking history over here. And his name was Philo Kinigi. As you can see, the Illuminati has been based off of the music industry for quite a long time, going all the way back to even Beethoven, the guy who taught Beethoven how to play the piano, Illuminati member. So the music industry is very, very well connected, as Charles Manson was producing, doing record stuff with the Beach Boys, and John Lennon was assassinated December 8th. Video killed the radio star. John Lennon was taken out on the 128 code. And Charles Manson, he did his murders because of a Beatles song on the White Album called Black Bird. Black Bird would mean a black girl, according to Charles Manson, and he wanted to ignite the race war. He wanted to kick it off. That's what his whole Sharon Tate sacrifice ritual, the 5 slain for the pentagram, was all about. Straight helter-skelter. And I believe Kanye is the new helter-skelter. Look at Kanye's new video. He's got the Masonic double phoenix on him. We look at the symbols here because the symbols say a lot. And in this movie, there's a symbol you probably did not catch. Right when they go in the road, they can pick the red pill or the blue pill, in a sense. You can take exit 76 to Point Comfort, which means you're going to be going into slavery, or you can choose Fort Mose Road, which means you're going into freedom. Now, this is very subtle, but this is what that means, because Point Comfort is where slavery began 400 years ago. Point Comfort, where slavery in America began 400 years ago. And you can see the W96 right here. And the girl is wearing the 96 tattoo. This year has been very connected to this 96 number, as the Queen died on the 96th year. Tony Bennett died 96. You see this 96 everywhere. Rosalind Carter died at 96 this year. This 96 is, we've been talking about this quite a bit. And it also plays into the beginning of the year with Miley Cyrus and Gangsta Boo passing away. So Point Comfort is where slavery began, and Fort Mose Road is where it ended. Fort Mose became the site of the first legally sanctioned free African community in the U.S. So, I mean, this really, really goes deep. Even here, Charleston Harbor. You can see the Charleston Harbor. Charleston Harbor is the largest North American point of disembarkation for the transatlantic slave trade. So you can see that this is all here. Even White Lion was one of the first slave boats as well. But behind all that helter-skelter stuff that the music industry, the film industry is wanting to ignite, is you can see the climate propaganda. I mean, don't litter. I never litter. Littering's bad. But you can see these symbols are everywhere. What is this? That looks like a condom. Probably is. I don't know. But the 36 parallel is important. This school, Matthew Fontaine. Fontaine is, that movie where the guy gets cloned. Who cloned Tyrone? The main character's name's Fontaine. Fontaine is the name of a Knights Templar. And this is the school that the artist who made the music for went to that school. So there's this Knights Templar connection. A lot of other people went there as well. That's worth notating. And he did American Horror Story and Mr. Robot as well. But yeah, Fontaine, something to notate, something that I notate. Now you can see the Knights Templar connection with the windows throughout this film. It's the Cross of Lorraine, the double cross. You might see 50 Cent wearing the double cross. This is symbolism. Even the sun is symbolism in this movie, but every single window is the same window of the double cross. If you watch the last Migos music video before the guy was slain at a bowling alley, you can see the same double cross windows right there. It's all throughout the film. Right here, the doors. Oh, right here, the doors. And this image changes throughout the film. Somebody even notated that the girl wearing NASA and the other guy wearing the Obey shirt, so it's Obey NASA. As we all know, NASA is for Nazi, so it's Obey Nazi. That's what it actually means. We can see the Polaris 8-pointed star symbolism all over the place on the umbrella, under my umbrella, Ella A, and even on her sweatshirt. So symbolism is all over the place. Everything that they point at, like even Sag Harbor, you look it up, you can see that there's a meaning behind every little detail of the film. The baseball player being number 55, as Obama retired at 55, and he had his hands very, very deep into the film. Here's the checkerboard floor, just like the kids wearing the checkerboard pants. And Obama really put his signature on it, saying, hey, look, guys, you got this wrong. You got to add these elements in it, because the cyber event, you think that they weren't even showing the bad parts of a cyber event. 90% of the population will vanish if this happens on a massive scale. Me and Christopher Green have been covering this for a long time. And we put together, because of the LeMay papers, just look up LeMay papers. All the stuff that I talked about in the LeMay papers, my most popular videos removed. yeah, it goes into frequencies and all that. All the stuff that now I'm probably going to be able to talk about. We got over 700 people in here. It's very late. I might make sure you smash that like button, and I'll get to the comment section here in a little bit. Maybe I'll go here for a second. Much love. Thank you. What's up? Yeah, a lot of people are up. Where's everybody at right now? Because I'm out in Arizona. Now, if a cyber event went down, I mean, this is bad news. People are like, oh, the banks are going to work or whatever. Look, that's the last worries you need. You know, you're going to have to prepare for the dope-apocalypse with water. You're going to want water for you, your family, your kitty cat. Water is the most important. You can survive without food for a while. I think at least a few weeks, maybe to a month, maybe, but not water. You need water. You can't survive more than 3 days without water. So a lot of people will drop like flies. And also, if you were hooked up, mostly old people will die first because they're in, I mean, this is scary stuff. Just listen to the book 1 second after, but you need to be spiritually right for it because it's some scary stuff. Nicotine becomes a huge commodity to trade. Alcohol as well. Alcohol has many different things that you can use, but for cuts and whatever. It gets into some prepping stuff, and I'm working on something I called Christopher because we put together a entire video course on what to do when these scenarios happen years and years ago. So I called him. I said, look, we need to get that video out somehow, and we're trying to figure out a way to get it up somewhere. So look out for that sometime this month. But you can see Obama's signature all over the videos. He smokes cigarettes in the White House, and they show the cigarettes. So you can see it. Barack Obama sent script notes for Netflix new disaster film with Julia Roberts. Now, Julia Roberts, Martin Luther King funded her birth. That's what Anya Saru was saying on the podcast tonight. How crazy is that? I mean, these people run deep in the politics. And here's the 1 second after. All of Congress was told to read this book. And you can see the eclipse. They showed the eclipse a lot in the movie, Leave the World Behind. But the eclipse could be pointing to the 2024 eclipse. As today, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services right after this movie came out. So you can't tell me this ain't all predictive programming. Here's the World Economic Forum. A catastrophic global cyber incident could happen in the next 2 years. I mean, this is all over the place. Now, what do you think about this? Does that look round or flat? Asking for a friend. Does that look flat or round? Asking for a friend. Flat or round? But you can see the sun rising, the sun symbol, the Shamash symbol is important, as the guy who made the video, Esmail Shamash, or there's a Shamash connection, which is the sun, and it goes into communism symbol as well, the sun rising over the mountain, the dawn of a new day. Hillary Clinton, the dawn of a new day. Jordan Maxwell dive deep into the symbolism. And you can see the sun is yellow, but then when they're in the fake outer space, it's white, as that's what they say on Google, that in the fake outer space, it's white, but then when we're down here, it's yellow. But the sun looks white to me. Something changed with the sun. As the sun stopped breathing, because the sun breathes every like 2 minutes, 6 miles in, 6 miles out, everything is pulsating in our world. Guy Tao broke down how that's the way the world is controlled. Is they don't do time, they do pulsating, and he went into kind of to explain it like girls all gain the same period when they're all together. There's like this breathing of expansion. It's interesting. It's interesting stuff. It's interesting stuff that we're talking about over here at the Donut Factory. And shout out to everybody watching. Flamingos are another thing. Flamingos is about swinging, and I bet you there was some swinging symbolism with the couples. I mean, you got the one girl dancing with the guy, and she's like, "Oh, I'm married." Oh, and then the girl in the guy, he's like, "Oh, he wanted to F me." So there was the swinging aspect that was very subtle in it. But that's what flamingos mean. They even made a movie, Pink Flamingo, by John Waters. Shout out to John Waters. Here's John doing the Illuminati hand sign. Now, don't you find it fascinating that everybody in the Red Pill movement does the Illuminati hand sign, and they have some affiliations with CIA, whether that's their family or their parents, but we could trust them. They're the Red Pill movement. Don't question what they have to say. But they're the Illuminati hand symbols. That's what we look at here. We look at symbology. Even the Black Street, where they're playing that music, where they're dancing, the cover to it, I don't know what this is. Is it an eclipse, a black sun, a butt? Because those look like legs. I'm not sure, but I bet you there's a connection there. As this was another painting that was in the house, which is the hourglass. That's what they called it, the hourglass, and that's also a Masonic symbol, the hourglass, as you can see it on the Economist magazine, the world for 2024, all about the eclipse. Here's the hourglass. I broke this down already, but here's the Jenga with the ships and the oil tanker in that movie, the White Line oil tanker. Now, it's all symbology. This is the power button, and the power goes out. They're turning off the power. This is what's going to happen so they can reset the debt clock. The only two ways to reset the $33 trillion debt clock for the Jubilee is war or CBDC. So they're going to have to reset it through the cyber incidences. When the world was locked down, the first thing they put in the HR bill was the digital currency. Then we have the coin shortage. Come on, it's so simple once you see what's happening. Now the deer play a big role in the movie. We see the deer all over the place, and Ani, I believe, or Tommy, I forget who, they pointed out that only the women see the deer. Isn't that crazy? But I don't know, I thought that was kind of wild, because Julia Roberts tells her husband these deer, and her husband Clay, so it's Clay and Amanda, a man is made out of clay, so I'm sure there might be some biblical stuff there. But Clay says seeing a deer is a good omen according to Mesoamerican mythology. You actually Google or look into it, the deer in Mesoamerican mythology is associated with chaos, immortality, and disease. So it's not a good omen. And here's Aztecs for kids. I mean, these kids' websites are more documented than the parents' website. Here's a deer being stabbed. That looks pretty wild, right? Here's the deer is associated with the sun, and here's the bunny associated with the moon. And this is how I was able to predict that this year would be the year of the aliens and the UFO, because the moon has a bunny on it. The moon is associated with bunnies. Bugs Bunny was the first person abducted by a UFO. In the movie Gremlins, you can see Bugs Bunny next to E.T. The Bugs Bunny connection to the aliens is it's all over the place. Watch the movie Knowing, they go with the bunnies. The bunny is associated with the moon, so this being the year of the rabbit, the year of the bunny, was like gonna be alien stuff, and that was the whole year. UFO, psyops, it's all fake. All there. You got UNESCO pushing the aliens in Mexico, all fake. That's all here to set up for the environmental situation. It's going to be an environmental thing with UNESCO. And you'll see how that is also connected to this film through the clock, through the grandfather clock. Here is the deer talking to the rain god, and I mean, this rain god got crazy. I don't know his name, but here's the beast between deer in Maya art and culture. And Maya, I guess, means imagination, I think. So here is the LeMay papers, Electromagnetic Defense Task Report. I mean, I've been talking about this since I started the channel. Anyone who's been around since I've had only like 1,000 subscribers knows I went all into this paper and documented it all. So I knew all the stuff was on the horizon, right? Here's the oranges and whatnot. It is pretty intense. So this episode of Friends is Julia Roberts dated Matthew Perry. Her birthday's 10/28. He dies on 10/28. And they released this episode on the 128 day as well, where they met and started dating. Here's the grandfather clock. It's at 11:16. So you can see it's at 11 and it's at 11:16. Let me zoom in so you can see the 16. So there's 15, 16. So it's 11:16. Well, that's an important day. That's when Tom Hanks, who opened the inauguration, President Obama names these people Medal of Freedom for Bill Gates, Tom Hanks, all these different people, Ellen DeGeneres. That's when they all got that medal from Obama on 11/16. And that's the date, time right here, 11/16. November 16th, leaves 45 days remaining until the end of the year. He's the 45th president. Yeah, it's all there. We almost had 1,000 people up in here, so make sure you smash that like button. Smash that like button. Because this is probably the most factual on the topic right now out there in the ether. Because I listen to all the videos, and there's some channels with 1 million people talking about the cyber incidents. They're monetized, they make a lot of money, and they bring up, I'm not going to say any names, but there's a scene in here where they say there's an evil cabal running the world on the winter solstice rituals. I've been talking about that for a long time, and we're coming up on the winter solstice on the 21st. And you got these big channels making lots of money. They're all monetized. As you can see, we're not monetized here. So make sure to support us through the Patreon or a donation or whatever you want to do. Get the VHS box. There is no cabal that nobody's in control. The only truth to that is God's in control and nobody's in control. God's in control. But that's not reality. Illuminati, secret society, synarchy, all this stuff, this is true, real stuff. We cover it here every single day. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. What are you doing? What are you doing? We getting wicked smart over here. And everything that we talk about is coming true. It's not that we're predicting anything. It's because we read the LeMay papers. So Bikini Kill is what the guy's wearing on his shirt right here, Bikini Kill. And the guy who made Minor Threat made this band, recorded them. And, you know, it's like a feminist band or whatever, but, you know, I'm a big Minor Threat fan. I grew up a punk rocker. But it's not maybe a little bit with the feminist kind of stuff with the left, maybe, but that's not really what I'm trying to get into. With why he's wearing the Bikini Kill shirt. He's wearing the Bikini Kill shirt because there's a trending TikTok video of Hillary Clinton, her most popular trending video on TikTok. There's a Bikini Kill song on there. So it's all for the algorithm. It's all for the Illuminati worm algorithm. And even the location like he lives in Park Slope, that's very affordable. I mean, that's where Anthony Weiner, who exposed his wiener, and also Chuck Schumer, crybaby Chuck Schumer, lived, you know. So there's so much communist connection with the Dems in this movie. Pretty wild stuff. So the map is important too, because look at all the places that weren't hit right here. What have I been talking about all years? The 36 parallel. Right there's 36 parallel. This line right here. This is the most popular one. It's all these places that are mostly like, I would say like, I don't know, white, I guess, aren't getting hit. All these rituals are happening this year in Tennessee. 36 parallel, 3-6 Mafia, and these are the places that are safe. It's this North Dakota, I think it is. Let me look. No, that's Montana. What's wrong with me? That's North Dakota. Let's see, there's North Dakota, South Dakota. So that's where CERN is connected to South Dakota, because they have dark matter underneath there, which is a very interesting topic. When they activated CERN, because Cernunnos is also that deer antler-looking thing. When they activated CERN, as Elon was over there, he went to the Pope and whatever, but he was hanging out at CERN. They activated it, and this place turned green. The Aurora Borealis turned green here, which is plasma. This is some plasma stuff. Plasma, and this is very important through the history of America too, the 36 parallel. I'm not going to break it down too much, but all year, look out for this 36 ley line. And we just had another ritual go down at UNLV in Vegas. You know, I mean, Tennessee, Vegas, it's just crazy how much stuff we got correct this year. And the chick is reading a book by the guy from Mr. Robot, who is known as the evil doer. And then George Bush talks about the evil doers.
Said he's back.
It's crazy. Here's Kanye's got the double-headed eagle, Masonic symbolism. I mean, this stuff's all over the place. The orange symbolism. Obama's the sun coming over the mountain, the 3 stripes, just like Netflix. Netflix is the 3 stripes right here. I mean, so much symbolism to break down. If you haven't watched my last video, we go over a lot more. Here's the sun symbolism. Down here, the sun rising over the mountain. That's what this is. We go over quite a bit on it. On the last video, but we just crashed through over 1,000 people, so I want to remind you to please smash that like button. Please and thank you. Smash that like button. So the world behind, leave the world behind. They show this map. Interesting map they show because it's the Attica prison riot that took place where 33 inmates were there, and it was a terrible tragedy. It was very racist and stuff like that happened there. So much stuff. This just happened. 52-foot long fin whale washes up in San Diego. 52. Let me see what else. This is crazy. The guy who created this movie, he has a website, and his website is super New World Order. Illuminati eyes. This is for another day. The symbolism of this website. Eat, obey, sleep. Like the kids wearing the obey shirt. Look at the fake space and the eyeballs. Dang, how high does it go up? Oh, it just keeps repeating. So we're gonna break that down. No, look at that. Pull that up. That's the guy's website. There's a lot going on. You can see this egg. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm gonna have to. You see it's spinning.
Alright. Then we're gonna take a little break. I am hungry and I need to go fix some lunch and figure out what I'm gonna do for dinner today as well. So I'm gonna take a break and go do that. Since it's still early in the day, I may try to get back up here in the studio later. Hopefully. We'll see how that goes. Appreciate everyone checking in. And you know what? Actually, I think I know what I'm gonna do for lunch. Oh crap, I almost walked out without cleaning these brushes. I I don't really feel like cooking anything right now, so I can probably just pop like a frozen pizza in the oven maybe, and just have pizza for lunch and then cook something for dinner. Oh. I think that might be the easy move. Alright, got the brushes clean. Oh shit. So while the pizza's in the oven, I think I got a pizza down there. I hope I got a frozen pizza. But while that's cooking, I probably just play video games and chill out for a minute. Catch you guys downstairs.